Alrighty, it has been ages since the beautiful streets of Monte Carlo have been on the calendar in the Breakout Racing League. Well, only one season, but it sure does feel for a long time, doesn't it? Welcome along to the streets of Monaco for round 5 of the Realistic Championship here in the Breakout Racing League, the Monaco Grand Prix. Fangio, Brabham, Moss, Hill, Lauda, Prost, Senna, Schumacher, Hamilton are all Monaco Grand Prix winners, and ironically are all synonymous in the history books of Formula One. That is the caliber of driver you have to be to win at Monaco. It takes skill, patience, tenacity, consistency, and maybe even a little bit of luck to win here. There are plenty of casinos here in Monte Carlo. Maybe who can gamble the most and cash in to win in Monaco. Speaking of the streets of Monte Carlo, the first race was held here in 1929, and the layout has remained roughly unchanged. There's 19 corners, 8 to the left and 11 to the right, which makes up the 3.337 kilometer, 2.074 mile circuit. There's one DRS zone entering Saint-Devote, which is turn 1, but overtaking will not be any easier with that addition. The circuit is known to be almost impossible to overtake. We'll ask Charles Leclerc a couple of times in 2019, although he didn't finish. He shows it's possible if you're daring enough. You may not overtake much here, but you are going to be under the most pressure than any other track on the calendar. Well, a major factor of a driver's finishing position will be their strategy. The drivers have the C5, C4, and the C3 tire, Pirelli's softest tire range, with the C5 being the red wool soft, C4 being the yellow wool medium, and the C3 being the white wool hard. We're not going to see much of that tire, but the driver also have the intermediates and full wets to their disposal if they so need it. Let's go look at the championship then. It has been a crazy couple of races for the Realistic, and we are not even halfway. We're about 4 rounds down and about 20 left to go. MooMooMlk and the Red Bull leads the championship over this man's teammate we're on board with, John UnsightedPort, by 9 points. After a little bit of a mishap with Moo winning in Spain a week ago. Cookie in third right now sits with 51 points. He is 8 points clear of Deer Hunter. Well, Mercedes, they have gotten 2 podiums in the last 2 races. Have they gotten their mojo back? Zach the Beast in 5th. Bailey in the AlphaTauri in 6th. He's tied with Zach the Beast in 5th. Who's going to come on top of that battle? John, we're on board with him now as he goes through into the second Massenet, into Portier. What will the McLaren driver do here today? He has, to his name, 28 points, which is 6 ahead of the Aston Martin. Minico in 8th. Taylor Clan, the other AlphaTauri, sits in 9th with 16 points. And Ferrari Nut, after 2 points scoring in a row, has gotten himself in 10th. 4 points over the Alfa Romeo, by the way, with a great race a week ago, Ron Swanson. Let's go look at the team championship. McLaren, they still lead at 23 points, so they're good over Red Bull. Mercedes P3, 27 points back from McLaren, only 4 back from Red Bull. Is it going to be a 3-way fight for the constructors? We'll have to find out. AlphaTauri sits behind Ferrari by 13 points. Ferrari with 61 points. AlphaTauri 48. Aston Martin, they sit P6 with 27 points. 19 clear of Alpine in 7th. Alfa Romeo at 8th with 5 points to their name. 3 ahead of Haas with 2 points, and Williams have yet to score. I'm Haycatcher alongside, actually, you're usually on the pit wall. That is, welcome to the commentary booth. It's a little bit of a different scenery from you. What do you think is going to take the drivers to really master the streets of Monte Carlo and the Monaco Grand Prix?
Well, first off, I'm just liking the fact that I'm on this side and I see all the telemetry. Can I have this? I'm just fascinated to see, who's going to be able to have the most confidence. That's the most important thing at this track. If you're not confident, you're not going to run well. As I'm watching Ardell, who was the first to complete. I'm interested to hear that, and also the strategies. Various of soft, mediums, maybe hards. That's going to be the most important thing, probably for the race. So I think Q2 is going to be very, very interesting of tire choice.
Yes, indeed. If you don't recall, the top 10 in Q2 have to start on those tires. So if it's a dry Grand Prix, well, we see a lot of soft runners. Speaking of soft runners, one of them is an 18th, sporting that white Red Bull, if you may. Moo in the white Bull, the tribute livery for the Turkish Grand Prix for Honda. Well, that's now in the game, and for Monaco. Meanwhile, he goes provisional pole at 10.8, ahead of Ferrari Nut in the Alpine at 11.3. John 11.5, a tenth ahead of his team at UnsightedPort. Phantom at 12.8 in the Red Bull, ahead of Ardell by about 0.2 of a second. In the Williams, Ed Tronha is on the mediums. He's in the Ferrari in 7th, KP21 ahead of Valkyrie in 10th, who has to sub for Ron Swanson, who I gave a shout out earlier. He unfortunately could not make it today. That is Monaco up to P5, 12-0. Zach the Beast on an outlap, trying and pushing very hard. You see through the swimming pool section now into the Rascasse and a P11 at the moment, but he is trying to rustle that Mercedes up like George Russell does. We'll see what he can do, if he can go and match his hero. Going to the line, Zach the Beast goes. Provisional pole, 10-7. What a lap.
That is a very nice lap. I think it's going to be between Red Bull and Mercedes up front. And it's going to come down to, who doesn't make a mistake and whoever can nail the laps. Wouldn't want to reveal your whole hand now.
That is true. Q1 is still, it is a long way away from the Fast 10 shootout in Q3. Let's talk, you said about mistakes. Well, this is one Mercedes really didn't have to, or really want to make. Their star driver, and if, according to the lineups, they say equal, but that's not what the standings say. Their, I guess, quote-unquote, number one driver, Deer Hunter, he could not make it. Mercedes right now on the back foot again. DXC Ishigo making a return to the realistic tier after a little bit of a drift and a gap in last season. He's now returned, and Monaco for the Mercedes team. Not really the best track in his opinion. He wants to try to go and get the most out of the car he can. His teammate, though, is provisional pole. What can he do? And it's going to be a great shot there. Another one that's coming back to the realistic tier. PSR B-Dunk, if you notice, as he slaps the Sandoval wall, that's not going to really be a good start for him. Cookie is not in the session as well. That is a huge shot. A lot of guys. Taylor's not there. Bald Guy is in the AlphaTauri this week. You see Luciano replacing Daytona in the Aston Martin. Like I said, Valkyrie replacing Ron. And you have, I believe, that is all the reserves for this week. It's quite a stacked grid, 20 drivers on the streets of Monte Carlo.
One thing I noticed, Ed was the first one, the only one to put a lap on mediums, but now he's strapped up softs. I'm really interested to know, we got 20 cars out here with the traffic. You look at who's at the bottom 5. If you don't time this right and you don't get a clean lap, you could potentially not make it to Q2.
We saw that time and time again. And another thing we saw from recent races, it's funny, I mentioned Charles Leclerc 2019, back with his overtakes. He also shown us what happened in qualifying. If you think you're safe, sometimes you're not. Zach the Beast, he thinks he's safe with a 10-7. Well, that hold. Last time the, provisional pole sitter did that, he finished 17th in qualifying. That was Charles Leclerc a couple years back. We'll see what he can do. Zach the Beast thinks he's safe. He's provisional pole. Axe F1 in the Haas. Once again, he was so close to points a week ago. He's going to try it once again. He's going to start. We'll see what he can do. He wants either Q3 or P20. That's what him and his teammates said in the Haas camp. They want to see if everyone can pretty much either take each other out or if they can survive. You see Bailey, there's almost no room to let drivers by. It's almost going to be a traffic jam if one driver gets it wrong, letting him by. Bailey does a good job of staying out of the way before into Massenet. Now going in, into Marabou. Another driver on the lap was DSC Jared. You saw the last couple of Grand Prix for the Alpine has not been good for him. However, his teammate has been quite the opposite fortune of luck. Ferrari not 2 straight points finishes. Jared has had 2 straight retirements at Portimao and in Spain. Hopefully Jared can do the best he can to get his Alpine into Q3 and into the points for the first time this season.
Notice 3 out of the top 4 have decided to retire. I think if you're basically under the 11-second bracket, I think that's a safe time for Q3.
Yeah, it looks like so. John, the only driver who is yet to retire out of the top 4. UnsightedPort, his teammate, about a 10th adrift of him. He said he was not strong here. Speaking of strong, look at that lap from Axe. 11.6.
That is a very nice lap.
P7. That is an amazing lap from the Haas driver.
Well, this is a track, it's not engine dependent. So if you have a good setup and you have confidence here, you can be able to strike here more than you could at most tracks. And Axe makes a little mistake there. That's, and we all know if you can qualify up front here at Monaco, it is a hard place to pass. So it's going to come down to getting the timing right for the racing strategy. But if you can get it right, all for it.
Well, let's see who can get it right and who will have a little bit of a mistake. Let's go through the field, though. One thing you've noticed, just like the White Bulls, if you may, we have a little bit of a change for the Aston Martin. The wing flaps, the wing arrow pieces are gone. Now it's just a little horns on each side of the halo. That's one thing the Aston Martin driver, Monaco, and PA actually, he clarified and commented on. He actually really likes that adjustment they made with the wing flaps taking them off. Obviously, it's not really going to do much for the aerodynamics. Codemasters has not really gotten that filtered through. But, that's a big off from Luciano.
He's got to get back to the pits and replace the front wing, and that's going to cost time. He does not have a time on the board. You know, yeah, you have a little under 8 minutes left, but still. Jared with a
Well,
nice
that's a
time.
big. Ooh, wow, that's a lap and a half.
I think they heard you commentate. I think they heard you. That's a really good
Jared's
lap.
been listening, and Jared has responded. 10-7. That is about, what, 61 hundredths ahead of Zach the Beast's time. In the Alpine, could we see a shock pole sitter? We obviously had a lot of the top guys. Deer Hunter's not making it tonight. Cookie's not making it tonight. UnsightedPort said he's struggling a bit. Moo, he's not a big fan of Monaco either. Could we see a shock pole sitter? In this case, DRC Jared at the top of the timing screens come Q3. We'll have to find that one out as it goes. Bailey going through the swim pool chicane on the limit than AlphaTauri. You see going through the second swim pool chicane into Larascas. It looks quick. It looks fast. How can the AlphaTauri driver go through Anthony Nodes? Oh, a little bit of back end sliding and a little bit of traction loss. Will that be an improvement? It does, but it doesn't improve his position. It does about 35 milliseconds off the pace.
It doesn't improve the position, but I think that's a solid lap. You know, the ones that are going to be kind of worried, you have Lucano, Reptile, and B-Dunk. They've not set a time. Then you got, well, who's just set one there? B-Dunk did 8th. Then you got the bottom here, Valkyrie, KP21, Bald Guy. Those are your 5 right now that are in the threat zone to be not making it to Q2, as Bailey's being blocked by DXD.
Well, drivers all up and down the grid trying to find some clear track. We'll see how well they can do it. One driver with some really clear track. In fact, the entire first sector. That's the AlphaTauri, a Bald Guy in 16th right now. He is just on the cusp with this bottom 5. He's 4/10 off of Ed Thronha in 15th. He's on the softs. The AlphaTauri wants to get some Q2 action in. What could Bald Guy do to recuperate that? Right now ahead of KP21 and Valkyrie. Both set times on the board. Luciano and Broken Reptile, like you stated, have yet to do so. What they can do, yellow flag through the Nouvelle chicane. It looks like a driver letting another one out of the way. I believe that is a Alpine. Oh, it's an Aston Martin going a little bit wide. I believe actually resetting to track too. I think I caught that.
Yeah, Ardell also invalidated through the swimming pool section.
That may have been what we saw going down there. John and Bailey have both retired in the pit lane, as well as DRC Jared, so we're going to keep on board with Bald Guy to the end of this lap. 5 minutes left in Q1. This is going to be the most stressful qualifying you're going to have in the entire season, because unlike any other track, Monaco, even with the DRS, is notoriously difficult to overtake. So it's going to be a very big challenge to even grab a couple positions. It's going to be done. Some drivers are going to try to make it work at the hairpin, Larascas, even some may be daring enough to do it through Anthony Nodes. But you want track position, you want the qualifying. What could Bald Guy do? He goes and improves, but just not enough to improve his position. Right now he's P16. He has 4 minutes to get back to the pits and get another set of tires on if he doesn't complete this lap.
Ardell is on a lap. He's basically matching his first lap, his time lap, the bubble.
Let's see, the Williams driver, he's trying to get out of Q3, I believe, for the first time. He was, I believe, oh so close, if not into Q2. If he was into Q2, he needs to try and, he wants to at least try and match that. He's on the run right now. He's P15. Oh, almost loses the car, and that may be the end of his lap.
Yeah, he's abandoned. And he's going to come into pit, so that's going to be, he's going to have to get out in and out real quick. He was 4/10 quicker on that lap, which if you look at it, that probably puts him up to 14th for sure, maybe 13th. But it would give him more distance away from 16th, 17th, and 18th who've had put a time. Lucano has still not.
A time in. Yeah, he hasn't. That's going to be difficult for him to get through if he doesn't. He went purple in the middle sector. His teammate improved up to P10 past X. Minico did. What can Luciano do? He's in the bottom 5 right now. P19. He went purple sector 2. Can he get out of the bottom 5? Yes, he can. P13. Actually, I believe Broken Reptile went even quicker. Yes, he did. And the Alfa Romeo goes P12. 12.2 for the Alfa Romeo driver.
So right now we have tweaking on the bubble. Etrona, Ardell, Bald Guy, KP21, and Valkyrie are the ones on the bottom 5. Everyone out in softs.
No one gambling for a medium run through qualifying 1, which is definitely understandable. You want to save as much tires here, but you also need to get, actually, I think KP21 just hit the wall there.
I know Lucano hit the wall, but I think he did that. He's coming in anyways. Being a little bit
like we
cheeky.
Having some fun. Right now he's safe, but he's not safe for long. He's only 3/10 above, tweaking in 15th. And some of these guys at KP21, Valkyrie, Ardell, Ed Tronha is going all in out laps. Bald Guy may even try for one last one. The pit lane is pretty short here, and the lap time's even shorter. So thus, yes, he actually does have front wing damage, KP21, and that's going to be pretty much his session done and dusted. The Williams is going to be out of qualifying 1, and that's unfortunate for him and the Williams team. He wanted a good show here. Yes, he has no front end plate on the left side. The guys behind him, though,
Ed
one big
on
one.
the lap.
Yes, he is. That's going to be a major one here. The next one to go to the line in the bottom 5, I believe, is going to be Valkyrie, but he hits the wall too. Same place as KP21 through the first swimming pool section, going into the second and the right-left. It seems to just catch these drivers off the curb, throwing the car a little bit out of the control on the exit of that corner there into final couple, I believe, into 16 and 17. Valkyrie does improve, though, 15.0 and up to P19. KP21 stays out. He's going to try to up and into the wall. There goes that.
So far, Ed was the 10th quicker in the first sector, coming to get through sector 2. Oh, half a second faster. Can he keep it together? Almost loses it there.
Ed is absolutely flying. Nails through Raskas into Anthony Nose. Looks clean and looks clear. Can he get out of the bottom 5? Ed Tronha, P16 at the moment. He's P15. That is going to be safe for now, but tweaking. He's going to be on an out lap. He thinks he can go better. Ardell spun round. He's out of qualifying. Bald Guy, he's on a flying lap now. Valkyrie, can he get any more time out of the Alfa Romeo and has invalidated as well? He's out of qualifying as well. KP21 is out.
Yep.
So right now, both Williams, Valkyrie are in the bottom 5 and out of qualifying 1. Bald Guy Racing, can he get anything out of the Alfa Romeo? I'm sorry, the Alfa Tauri. Going through the tunnel section right now. A little bit of contact with the wall. Will that do anything to his lap? I am tweaking. He started a flying lap. He's now going into the Lowe's hairpin. Can he get anything out of this Haas? He only needs about 0.2 of a second to get out of Q1. And with that, would actually demote Ed Tronha in the Ferrari down into the bottom 5. That'll be huge for not only Haas, but for Ferrari, because Ed needs a good race, but so does tweaking. It's going to be difficult to overtake, so which one is going to go it? Checker flag is out. Ferrari Nut and everyone else is done. That's crossed the line. Bald Guy Racing pits. He's out of qualifying as well. It's just going to be between Ed Tronha and I am tweaking, going through the swim pool section, invalidated, and he's out of qualifying as well.
Valkyrie's on a lap as well, but the first sector was not positive. He will be the last one to set a time for this for Q1. Comes into the tunnel.
Daring effort.
I don't think it's gonna do it. He needs to find 3 seconds.
It's gonna be right here if he needs to find it.
He's got to find 3 seconds in just sector 3 alone. So I think Ed, you're safe.
Ishigo in front of him pits in the Mercedes around the Anthony Nodes for the final time. Is it going to be a Q3 appearance for Valkyrie, or is it going to be an out in qualifying 1? It is. So right now, in the bottom 5 and out of qualifying 1 at Monaco, I am tweaking. BRL, Ardell, Bald Guy Racing, Valkyrie 420, and in final in the 20th position is KP21. The biggest shock through qualifying 1, DRC Jared grabs provisional pole, but obviously it doesn't matter much. The positions are not set for now. DRC Jared ahead of Zach the Beast, MooMooMlk, John, UnsightedPort, the top 5, Bailey P6, Ferrari Nut. Both Alpines looking strong in P7 and P1 respectively.
How about Axe?
In 8th, Phantom Axe in P11. That's a huge shout. A 11.5. That is a 10th off of the Aston Martin Domenico, and actually about 0.2 off of the Red Bull of Phantom. Can Axe get to Q3? He's going to try to go for it. He said either Q3 or bust. Right now, he's looking pretty promising. Broken Reptile, MP12, DXT, Ishigo, Luciano, and Ed Tronha are all through into qualifying 2. The guys out is Tweaking, Ardell, Bald Guy Racing, Valkyrie, and KP21. They're out of the qualifying one at Monaco. Well, other than Axe, is there any surprises that kind of really showed his head?
I mean, surprised that Bald Guy in the AlphaTauri is in the bottom 5. I've seen him racing. I think he's tier 3, tier 4, but that's probably the big surprise considering where Bailey's at on his time. Ed barely squeaking through. That was a surprise. I thought Ferrari would be higher up on the order. So those two. As for the ones that made it, Max takes the award for me for Q1.
Yeah, that is a huge lap from him and a huge lap from Jared. Those two right now looking pretty pacey in the Haas and the Alpine respectively. What can they do through Q2? The biggest question, though, is what will the race pan out like? Will it be raining? Will it have a little bit of weather? Will it be dry? Regardless of the strategy, it all plays out now. Welcome to qualifying 2 here at Monaco and Monte Carlo. The tires that the drivers select here are crucial. Are we going on the C4s? Can we go on the C3s? Can either driver do it? I don't think so. I don't think they would even test it, even if they could do it. Most drivers will be on the C5 softs. Now it's going to be all about pace.
Bailey will be the first one out, followed by Jared, I think.
Yep, there's a little bit of a traffic jam with the Mercedes, I believe, of Zach the Beast. And then you have BRL Phantom behind, and a McLaren, I believe, is Viere John.
Both
could be UnsightedPort.
Both McLarens are on mediums.
Yes, they are.
John's out on the track,
Strange.
Unsighted, still on the pits, but those are the only two right now that have mediums. Actually, no, Lucano and Reptile also have mediums. We have one.
That's going to be interesting here.
Well, we know the softs drop here. They can drop quickly. And if you're on the mediums, if you can keep pace with these soft runners, when these soft guys have to pit, that's when the race, for the medium guys, that's when their race is going to happen. They're going to have to build a gap and push as far as they can forward before they pit to see if they can jump some of these soft runners.
It's going to be a big ask for them to even get through into Q3 on those mediums, but let's see who can do it, who has the test, who has the speed, who has the consistency. We'll have to figure that one out. Qualifying 2 is now underway. Bailey goes across the line. He'll start his flying lap. Behind him will be the Alpine, I believe, of Jared. No, it's not. It's Ferrari Nut. He'll start his flying lap. Behind him is the Mercedes. That is going to be Zach the Beast, I believe. Yes, he's going to start his flying lap. Behind him is going to be the Red Bull of Phantom. Actually, he let a couple drivers by. It's going to be both McLarens of John and of UnsightedPort. Then it will be the Red Bull of Phantom.
Interesting. Axe has mediums. I don't think mediums on a Haas is going to be able to do anything to get into Q3 unless he's putting in a banker lap.
That may be what they're doing. See Luciano in the Aston Martin, he's on the mediums. Broken Reptile in the Alfa Romeo, the medium. Both McLarens on medium. PRS B-Dunk, on the mediums in the Ferrari. Then you have Axe F1, like you said, on the mediums in the Haas. A lot of the Ferrari-powered drivers using the mediums. Yellow flag, I believe that was some drivers letting others through.
I believe
right
so.
Now, purple sector 1 and 2 for Bailey. But he's the first one to complete him. So we'll see what the time these drivers will be chasing. Lap cup kind of clean. I don't know how much he can do better. We'll see what the AlphaTauri can do through Anthony Nodes into the line. This will be the line that everyone has to go and try to cross. 11-4. Can they do it? We saw Jared do it. We saw a couple others do it. That's the line they have to try to beat. Behind him is going to be Ferrari Nut. He beats it by 4/10.
Wow.
That's at 11-4.
I'm interested to see who will be the first mediums to do this. I think it'll be John. That's... I don't know about that. Zach, that's a very surprisingly slow lap for the Mercedes.
Phantom's crashed out.
Yes, we missed that.
Entry of Raskas.
Yes. Big blow for Red Bull, as he will start 15th. He's going to have a lot of work to do in order to score points. We know the Red Bull has the pace, but we know overtaking here is so difficult.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge blow for Phantom. He needs points. He wants points. The last couple of Grand Prix has not gone his way, especially if you think of Spain a week ago from the top 5 positions and ended up retiring in the pit lane. That's not necessarily what happened. I guess with the words that were used, he necessarily crashed in the pit lane, not of his own nature.
I can
The car
confirm
has
that.
some damage. Yes.
Yeah, I was.
Ironically, you were there.
I was there, and yeah, just an innocent mistake. He was trying to get back to the pits, and why would you want to cause a safety car out when your teammate is leading? So didn't understand the flag with that one, but it is what it is. Zach goes faster, so.
Huge lap from him, actually. It's a 10.1, about 3/10 quicker, I believe, actually, it may have been 6/10 quicker of Jared's lap in qualifying 1. Ferrari Nut goes P2, like I said, 11.0, but look at the two McLarens, 11.547, 11.567. 0.02 of a second separating the two McLaren drivers, and actually, to be fair, a 12.5 for the Haas of Axe. B-Dunk goes 11.0 in the Ferrari, looking pacey
on mediums.
On those mediums, B-Dunk. He may actually make it through with that time.
You look at the first opening parts of the race, McLaren, they've had really good form with Unsighted and John. And you look at right now, Phantom has crashed. This puts Red Bull back on the back foot. Right now, when it comes to constructors, you need two cars right now consistent, and McLaren's doing that at the moment.
It's a huge advantage for them right now. They are the championship leaders, if you do recall, by about, I think they the first team to cross that 100 meter board, I guess you could say, 100-point board that they have crossed. They are about at least, I think, 17 points. No, it was 9 points ahead. I'm sorry. Actually, was it? Let me go look for myself before I start spatting.
They got a 1-2 at what? Was it China or was it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big result early in the season. When you can throw a 1-2 up there while others are still trying to find themselves, it's a big confidence boost, and also it helps for the championship as Zach has retired going forward. I want to say Zach's time is safe.
And this should be easily safe. So, to get back on the Constructors' Championship, obviously I had it up earlier, but I don't have it up now. 23-point gap between McLaren and Red Bull, 102 to McLaren, 79 to Red Bull. So, once again, they are looking pretty pacey as a team going through. Not only is both drivers very close, it shows how close they can be when it has the days go right. And even when it goes wrong, McLaren still scores.
Yes.
Excuse me, one of the most points.
Well, one thing I've noticed between McLaren versus Mercedes and Red Bull, McLaren at the moment, they're doing the best they can to maximize what they can get, whereas the other two, they've had their issues, and in a championship battle this tight, you just can't do that. Last week Phantom crashes, a couple starts this year. Zach has struggled. I had a really good race at Portugal, and did he get on the podium last week as well? I can't remember, but
Deer Hunter did.
Deer Hunter did, that's right. But you need both cars up there, and right now they're only getting one.
Yep, and speaking of both cars up there, I just now missed it. Not only is Ferrari up there, now he did a 10.8. His teammate Jared, 10.3. Alpine, they could be some actual serious contenders here.
Well, like I said earlier, dude, this is a track that it's not engine dependent, so it kind of just throws conventional wisdom out the window here. If you have a good car with a good setup and you have downforce to your liking and you have confidence, you can do well here. Now, if you're not confident and this is a track that you just look at and you just not going to be in a happy place, you're probably not going to have a good day.
Well, let's hope that some of these teams that are looking for a good day have some. Alpine is one of them. They need some quality points to fight back in the Constructors' Championship. Ironically, two of the major contributors to the turnaround of Renault are in this commentary booth, and this is exactly the same thing that happened a season ago. I commented it on, I believe, at China, that they had this kind of start, Renault did, before they were rebranded as Alpine, the exact same kind of start a season ago. Well, this will be the turning point, like it was at Holland at Spain for Renault in Season 2 of Realistic and Season 6 of the Breakout Racing League. This could be the turning point and the tipping point for Alpine to turn the corner and grab some quality points at Monaco, with Jared and Ferrari looking really pacey and less than a second off of Zach the Beast on provisional pole.
Well, this is Monaco. It's a crown jewel, and I mean, we all want to win, but imagine that. You get two of your cars in the top three on the podium. That's a huge, huge thing to put your hat on, and at this point in the championship, at this point of the year. One thing
they really need.
One thing I have noticed is, for Zach has retired at the 10 flat, basically. So has Jared. He's 2/10 off. DSC. Don't know what happened on his lap, but that's not where he needs to be. And Mumu has not set a time yet. We already know one Red Bull is not going to make it. Don't want to lose. You don't want to have. If you're going to go for one run here, you cannot make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, you're done.
Well, that's what I saw DXD on his flying lap. He did a banker lap and a second out lap, if you may. But on his flying lap, he crashed and got no front wing. Had to go back to the pit lane. Moo set a purple sector 2 on his flying lap. We saw it with the stream. But then going into the second swim chicane, he got into the wall and lost all of it. So, and actually invalidated going through over the corner. So that is something that they need to really work on. Those guys in Moo and DXD to grab that one lap in. Same with Luciano. Those guys right now are all in the cutoff line. Broken Reptile, DXD, Luciano, and Moo, and Phantom will start 15th as stated because he retired. And that's going to be a big blow for Reptile, by the way. He just invalidated at the Nouvelle Chicane. A lot of these guys now switching to the soft compound tires, one of them being VRA John in the McLaren. He right now sits P7, 11.5. He's about 2 hundredths off his teammate UnsightedPort. And he is kind of clear here. Because I honestly think, I don't know.
We had a big snap there. I was going to say, well, look who's P9, actually. Oh, wow.
Oh!
That is not good for Red Bull. I caught a little bit of that, and I didn't see anything I wasn't noticing it, but Axe was coming through. What is that one corner? The corner before Nico decided to go straight. And they were close, but I didn't think they made contact. I don't know if Axe has damage or not. He was a tenth quicker on his lap.
Well, it looks like Axe is continuing on, so maybe he does not have damage. But once again, Red Bull, you pointed out that McLaren has been the team that's not made too many mistakes. Mercedes have had their blunders where they both didn't maximize their points. Red Bull's had about one car for half the season, not of the second car's own fault. It's just not necessarily what happened. It's not up there. But once again, this is not what Red Bull needs in the fight because this is a track that is basically suited to them.
You would think.
Mercedes right now is struggling. Red Bull, they're even worse at the moment. Moo is going to be a 5-place grid penalty, so even if he grabs pole, he'll start 5th.
Well, right now, Moo doesn't even have a time on the board. So if it could be worse. If he doesn't get a time on the board or something happens on his lap, he's not starting 15th. He's starting 20th.
That's a huge blunder because that would mean Phantom would start, if it is as it stands, Phantom would start 14th and Moo would start 20th. In a team that is fighting for the Constructors' Championship with McLaren, this is a huge, huge turn of events that would benefit that Papaya Orange Mercedes-powered car. By the way, John, it looks like he's going for another lap on his softs. Did not improve the last one. UnsightedPort stays in the pit lane. He has a little bit longer. Same with Ferrari Nut, B-Dunk, and Moo have a little bit longer to get back out there and as invalidated through the second swimming pool chicane in turn, I believe, 16.
He did, but his lap prior as he comes to the pits, he did find 4 tenths in the third sector. So he did improve to a 12.17. It's going to be very, very tight. As Moo is now back out, this is probably going to be his one and only shot here. And he needs
Speaking of one and only shots, Luciano.
Yes. As B-Dunk has decided to retire.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's only going to be 3 cars. Broken Reptile is going to need a heck of a lap to really get into Q3. Not of his own driving nature, but because of the car. It's going to be huge, but obviously it's doable. Axe is up there in P8, so Reptile could grab it. He only needs about a tenth or so to grab Ed Tronha's position in P10. I believe that's Mercedes either going slowly or spun around. And the exit.
That's DXD. He also needs to put in a lap. And he does. He goes to 11.7. I wouldn't say that one's safe, but he should have another chance to improve on this lap as well.
And Tronha goes up to P9. That pushes Axe down to the cutoff. Axe is now pushed out of the top 10 because Monaco goes up to P4. And his teammate right now, purple sector 2 again. Can Luciano get up into the top 10? Can he get into the top 10 shootout? Right now we've had a little bit of a struggle as of the last round, especially at Spain, for Aston Martin, and they didn't have a good round with Daytona and Portimao. Now they have both drivers in the top 10, and in Q3 at Monaco, they should be safe. DXD, he's going to be on the cutoff again. That is not what they need. Axe is going to be on a flying lap. Ed Tronha, he just finished one a second ago. Is he on another one? No, he is not. Axe F1, like I said, on an outlap, going through Portier. Broken Reptile, he's going to the line. Can he get out of the bottom 5? He cannot. only P12. He has enough time for another lap if he can muster up enough pace to do it. Moo, he's going through into Marabou, now into Portier. He needs a great lap here. He needs to get into the top 10. 11.7. He can easily beat that. We know he can. He did it in Q1. Moo needs to get this lap done. 37 seconds left. Ferrari not staying into the pit lane. He is done. He's going to be safe in qualifying in P3. UnsightedPort, he's on an outlap. He may not even make it to the flag. So if he gets knocked out, that'll be huge. By the way, his teammate, John retired as well.
That's a big gamble.
He get knocked out. That is huge.
If you look at the two cars that are, you look at DXC, he's 10th. Theoretically, he should improve. So should Moo. Axe, I don't know if Axe could find 6 seconds or 6/10. Same thing with, well, Moo does go on pole. So right now, John's on the bubble, and he can't do anything about it.
See what Axe can do. He only needs to find 6/10, and that's going to be a huge ask in a normal car, much less the Haas. So if he can get into Q3, not only will this be the first Q3 appearance for Haas, but it will be the first Q3 appearance for Axe F1. That'll be huge for him. Broken Reptile Pits. That'll be huge for DXC as well. He needs to grab that as well.
He needs
going
to find
into
2/10.
the Nouvelle Chicane. It could be possible. Checkered flag waves. Ferrari not Minico, Luciano, Moo is going to be done as well. UnsightedPort, he needs to get a good lap in. If DXC improves, John's out of qualifying. If X improves and UnsightedPort doesn't, both McLarens are out of qualifying. This could go from bad to worse. Oh, into the wall. Through swimming pool chicane goes DXC. Is that going to be his lap over and does? Yes, it is. DXC is going to be out of qualifying. Ed spins at the swimming pool chicane as well. He's going to be out of qualifying. Is Axe. Can he grab Q3 for the Haas? He's done an incredible job so far. He does.
Wow.
P7. Incredible lap.
I think I jinxed McLaren, but I mean, what a lap by Axe.
Wow.
That is, I don't know what's going to happen in Q3 and the rest of the race. I heard that message as well of Q3 or P20, and I didn't think that Q3 was on the cards for them, but I'll take that back. Well done, Axe.
That was an incredible lap from Axe there. Axe, if you're streaming and you follow, if you're listening on the stream at one point, maybe a little bit back, clip your stream and clip that lap, send it.
Yes.
That's going to be almost reminiscent of Ayrton Senna and his onboard lap. That is incredible.
I mean, so far he's the star of qualifying. I know we have the Alpines up here, but with all due respect, we expect the Alpines to be up here. Haas, I don't think that's expected.
No, it's not expected at all. Right now, the top two, well, it looks kind of normal. Moo ahead of Zach the Beast in 1 and 2. Jared and Ferrari Nut, both Alpines, 3 and 4. Minico, P5, PRS, PSR, I can't read apparently. PSR B Dunk, P6 on the mediums. That's a huge lap. And that's going to be him into the top 10 and start on those C4 tires. XF1, the star of qualifying that we just pointed out. P7 in the Haas. What an incredible day for him so far. It doesn't matter where he finishes in the race. He's gotten to Q3 in a Haas. That's good enough for him. Luciano, P8, and the Aston Martin on the soft compound tires. Bailey and UnsightedPort. They are 9 and 10. They are also on the mediums. So it's going to be 3 drivers on the reverse strategy with VRA John. DXD Ishigo, Ed Tronha, Broken Reptile, and BRL Phantom has crashed out of qualifying. But the biggest story, apart from Axe and the Alpines, is the 5-place grid penalty.
Yeah, I'm going to want to hear what happened with that. That's when Axe was on a lap, and I don't know. I don't know if Moo didn't know Axe was coming or just didn't have the info relayed, or I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to tell here at Monaco.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a star Q2 session. Hopefully the lobby didn't break as well.
Is it?
Like I said, I don't know. I hope it didn't. But like I said, for early in Q1, sometimes people think they're safe, and they get knocked out of qualifying. John had that exactly happen to the McLaren. He's going to be starting from P11. DXT Ishigo couldn't go to lap in. P12 at Tronha. P13, Broken Reptile tried once again. Those two close. Look at that. The time between the two, 13 milliseconds between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. That's a good qualifying from Broken Reptile as well. No discredit to him.
Just right now, as we're trying to figure out what's going on with the lobby, how do you feel if you're John right now? I think he thought his time was safe, and I mean, wow, that's the big surprise. Whereas you have Alpine, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, they've been on form so far. As we're still waiting to see what's going on.
Okay, apparently Bald Guy is loading, so hopefully he doesn't get removed from the session because that's the new patch they added in. Yeah, that is true.
That is one thing that, you know, with the new patch, it did change the cars a bit, and, you know, we did get Imola as well, which is, for as a novice I am on these current cars, that track, that's a fun track to drive.
Yeah, Imola was... I've actually done that pretty well. I mean, we have a little bit of downtime. Let's talk about that. Imola and Portimao, that's the two tracks they've implemented on with the new calendar. And they've actually... There we go. The timer goes up. That's good. But there we go. But let's continue that thought before we go into qualifying 3. They've actually done a really good job on these tracks, and I cannot wait. We've already seen the racing at Portimao a couple weeks ago, but Imola is going to be the season finale. The only track we're waiting on now is going to be Jeddah, and that's going to be towards the back end of the season as well. Well, right now we still have a long way to go before we even think about Jeddah or Imola.
Yeah.
Because they're now round 5, qualifying 3.
So it looks like 3 cars are going out. I will say this before we get back into it. Anytime I run Imola, it makes me want to run the old Imola before the chicanes.
Never got the chance to do that. So
me neither.
We have to find a
me neither.
All-star realistic event. Go on, find a way to do Imola, the classic Imola with Tamburello.
What's up, mate?
Well, the first one. What?
No, go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I was saying.
Alrighty.
What's weird is, you know, you hear Gerhard Berger and you hear Senna talk. Well, Gerhard had his crash in what, '89, and it was the same place where Senna went off. Just period thought. Good thoughts about Imola, and of course some not some good thoughts. Anyways, we move.
Well, hopefully we have some good thoughts here tonight. Bailey is once again the first one out on track, and he was going to be the first one to the line, but he has some pressure from behind from Ferrari not in the Alpine. You know, boys, we're supposed to race in a couple minutes' time, not in the qualifying lobby, so hopefully some spacing will get out. They will obviously do that, as they are the professionals. We're up in the commentary booth. If we, you know, they didn't know any better, we would be down there.
Yeah.
Bailey around Anthony Nodes.
I would say, you know, in qualifying, you know, pertains to me, Monaco's so hard to do it, but not on when they're on their laps. When they're out laps or in laps, it's very, very important for you to tell who's coming on a lap, who's not coming on a lap. The last thing you want is what happened between Moo and Axe. If contact is made, that's 5 places you've just been removed. So that's a very important job here as an engineer.
It may not even end there, though, because, I mean, that contact, how was that? Was it a Axe hitting the rear end of Moo? Was it Moo hitting the rear end of Axe? How was it? Because that could be reported, and a super license point infraction could be added on top of Moo. Well, which would be a double blunder.
Axe was on a lap, and he's the one that came upon Moo, and kind of where it looked like going up the hill. I don't think Axe saw Moo was there. Maybe Moo didn't see Axe was there, and you know, just a part of it, but that's just something you can't do. You have to inform your drivers, and some drivers have an engineer, some don't, because it is Monaco, but you gotta be very careful with that as Bailey completes his lap.
He was on the knife's edge in the swimming pool chicane. Almost put it in the barrier. Well, a 10.7 is a great lap from the AlphaTauri. It's an amazing lap.
That is a very amazing lap. I think that's his first lap in the 10s, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you are correct with that. I believe his other two were about a 11.3 and 11.5 or something like that. UnsightedPort 10.8. He was behind Bailey in the AlphaTauri. And what can the Aston Martin do? A 10.9. So look at that. 10.7, 10.8, 10.9. Are we looking for an 11.0 or a 10.6? Who's the next one to cross the line? That's going to be, I believe, the Aston Martin of Monaco. He probably can continue that trend. What would it be for the Aston Martin? Would he have his teammate? No, 11.9. He's going to try to go and recuperate that lap and go again. The Red Bull behind him, Moo. He's going to go for provisional pole. 10.0. Wow. You broke the trend, but that's 7/10 off of Bailey And that's a great lap from Moo. Jared's going to go around through Portier, B-Dunk, and Axe are both going to be starting their flying laps in a few seconds' time. Zach the Beast, has he used all his tires, or is he waiting his time?
I think he's just being patient right now. I think he's in a good position right now because I don't see all the other ones. I don't see, other than Moo, anyone challenging him. And Zach knows if he gets even P2, he's going to have pole because of Moo's five-place grid penalties. So maybe Zach is just cooling his jets, waiting for the traffic, even though it's Q3, just biding his time.
Well, that's going to be a major implication of how this race can go, because like we said, overtaking here is difficult. So even with the DRS, you may not even have a chance to overtake if you, even if you're like pretty much 3/10, 4/10 off the guy in front, you're not going to be able to get that much of an overtaking, because even if you do have that run with the DRS, where are you going to go? It's very, very narrow going into Sandoval.
And that's true. I mean, Moo is most likely, I think he went into softs for Q2, so he needs to get on pole because I don't think that time's going to slip. I don't see a lot of people beating that time, but let's just say that time didn't exist. He doesn't want to start P10 on softs.
That's true. That is exactly what he needs to get done, and hope that doesn't happen. Well, one driver who wants to make sure that it does happen will be DRC Jared. He's absolutely flying. He went purple sector 1. Not sure if that's true or not. Purple sector 2. Not sure if that's true or not. But right now, regardless if it's true or not, he is absolutely taking the entire track to his advantage. The Alpine going through every apex, going every inch of the track. A little bit of a tap on the wall. Luckily, no damage, I think, and his lap time is not going to be affected. To the line he goes. Provisional pole at 9.8. Wow.
That's very, very best. I know they call him Alpine, but I can't remember Renault being this strong here at Monaco since a decade ago. I know they didn't get pole, but Kubica got P3, I believe, in qualifying in 2010. Since then, Renault's been kind of just MIA at Monaco.
Well, let's see, hopefully, I mean, showing off today's pace, it looks like they're back and they're ready to grab as much time as they can. Right now, that looks like on the teetering edge of what I've seen Zach the Beast can do. Can he match that time? Moo, he's obviously going to have another chance. Can he match that time, if not beat it? I believe he did a 9 in Q2. He wants to do it again. Axe goes up, I believe, to P8. He's had a time at 12.2. B-Duck is now on an outlap. Zach is still in the pit lane. So some major implications right now. Luciano ahead of Minico. Right now, he has not been out-qualified by a teammate, the Canadian, in P7 right now. Ferrari Nut, he's going to try and go. He's not been actually, I believe he's actually whitewashing his teammate, Jared. So right now, as it stands, he's about a second off, which is about the same gap between Luciano and Minico. Bailey, I don't think he's actually started in the top 3 before this season.
No,
he's going to try to go for that now.
I don't believe he has.
It's been close, but not yet there. UnsightedPort, he's going to try to go for that pole. I just don't think, I mean, he doesn't even think he could do it. But remember the last time he didn't think he could do something, he ended up winning that race. So it's never too, I guess, late.
Drivers are weird.
To,
they'll come in and they're not confident, and then they'll do the race and they'll have a spectacular result and just think, where the heck did this come from? As it looks like, is that Ferrari not leaving? Ferrari not is leaving. He's going to do, start another attempt. And Zach has not. He's going to leave it all for the last chance, I believe. Because him and B-Dunk have not set a time. B-Dunk is out on the track now. He's actually doing his lap.
That's another thing with Luciano. He's also out as well. But like we said back in, I believe, Q1 and with Q2 with Moo and with Luciano and DXD, is counting and putting all your marbles and all your, all your money on this final lap is going to be a stress roller coaster. You cannot make a mistake. Zach the Beast knows that, because, I mean, if he makes a mistake, doesn't get a good lap in, he's going to start P10.
No.
Because, I mean,
it's
not.
He saved it, though.
The flag. Ooh.
Zach
did he
lost
get damage?
He lost it on the top. The problem with Zach is, he does back in with the rear wing. I don't know. He might have no choice but to do an attempt. As that was Moo.
B-Dunk got into the wall as well. So look, B-Dunk thankfully has enough time. Zach, he could try to get back in enough time.
I don't think he has enough time. 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I don't see it. One thing he doesn't have to worry about is a teammate holding him up. So if he's going to do it,
that's true.
He needs to hurry.
That's going to be the big story. Right now, Moo is going to be on an out lap. UnsightedPort is going to be on an out lap. Ferrari Nut's going to be pushing with all he possibly can. Luciano ahead of Minico. Axe trying to get the Haas's best start this season. And actually, I believe the best start since halfway in the season 2 of the Realistic Championship. I believe, actually, it may have actually been season 1 of the Realistic Championship done by Deer Hunter at Abu Dhabi. It may have gone a long way back. And Haas is trying to go and restore the Haas name. Zach Levy's going around the final corner. Looks like he's going to try to go for it.
He's going to have a go.
Let's see what he does. Does he have damage? Looks through turn 1. Sandavant doesn't look too bad. Looks like he may be okay.
I think as long as his rear wing is fine, he has no damage. Because he didn't make any contact with the front wing, it looked like. Goes to that same and better. 18.6 for his first sector.
1.
He's going to have Unsighted ahead of him, who's also on a lap.
That could be huge. If he catches him enough in the swimming pool chicane in the 3rd sector, could dirty air be in a factor of Zach the Beast? He needs this 9.8. He needs his best lap of his life if he wants pole position. The Mercedes has gotten 1 pole this season. That was Deer Hunter a week ago out in Spain. If they can get a back-to-back pole, that will be absolutely, I guess, proving that they've got their mojo back. Purple sector 2. Can Zach hold on?
Oh, very close with the wall there.
Through Rascass. He only has 1 corner to go and the run to turn 1. He has the DRS. He's never gotten pole in Realistic. And Mercedes, can they go back-to-back? No, they can't. The exact same lap time as UnsightedPort in P3.
Looks like he's going to have another go at it. He doesn't need these tires. Unless safety car comes out late, so let's see what he does on his second lap. Oh, man. About even through sector 1.
Edunk starts his flying lap. Jared's going to go and start his flying lap. Behind him, Moo. He's going to go to the line. Can he grab pole back from Jared? No, he can't. At 10.098, he has enough time to do another lap. Can he do it? I believe that is Luciano and Minico. Both are going to be out on a flying lap. Behind him, I believe maybe Luciano in the Aston Martin. No, it wasn't. It was Minico. He's going to start his flying lap. Yellow flag to sector 2. I believe it was UnsightedPort letting Zach by.
Yes.
That's going to be the biggest challenge to watch out. Axe F1, he's going to go to the line. He's invalidated. He has 20 seconds to go inside head time.
Axe 2
Bailey's
quicker.
behind him. Bailey goes P2.
Wow. I hope this isn't me. I'm going to be fired by Bailey.
Going through the final corner. Zach the Beast is, if he's quicker, how much quicker? And he has enough time to do 1 more lap. Here we go. No, he's done.
He doesn't have the battery to do 1 more lap, unfortunately.
Checkered flag is out. Ferrari Nut's going to be P6 maximum. Luciano, looks like he's going to be done. Yes, he is. 10.9, P7. Minico, he's never been out-qualified by a teammate. Going through the middle sector now into the final sector. How much time can he find? He only needs about a second, which is a lot. Which, we'll see what he can do. He just kind of taps the wall a little bit. Luciano pits. B-Dunk up to P8. Minico through the final corner. Moo goes provisional pole again. 9.4. The Red Bull gets ahead of Jared. And Minico, he gets out qualified by his teammate by about a 1/10 of a second. Behind him, that's going to be Axe, who is actually letting by Bailey contact out of the... Whoa, what's happened there?
Ooh.
Bailey's retiring from the session. Axe also has damage. Did they collide?
Oh, UnsightedPort has crashed as well. He doesn't make any contact, but his lap is over. So unless Zach is improving, which he's not, this is going to be it.
Well, at the moment, it's going to go to this man in the Red Bull. Pole position at Monaco, and an incredible sight for Moo at 9.4. But on the race time, it's going to go to the man directly in front of him, DRC Jared in the Alpine. The first pole position for Renault Power and for Alpine as a new team in a long while.
I can't remember the last time they had pole.
2009, maybe, Fernando Alonso? 2009, 2008?
It has to be Alonso. I just can't place it where.
Unless we count Lotus.
I don't think Kimi or Grosjean ever got a pole through 2012, 2013. No, I don't think they ever did.
Well, only in Monaco. Well, you know, I said there's a lot of casinos here who can cash in, who can, you know, bet this, bet that. Well, if you were betting a normal front row, you've lost all your money. Because now, going into the race, Moomoo may have gotten pole, but he's not going to start from first. He'll start P5, meaning DRC Jared and the Alpine will start from pole at Monaco. Beside him, the AlphaTauri of Bailey. That
He's
has
on
been,
mediums.
I think, the best AlphaTauri start. Yeah, he is on mediums. That is a great point to add. So that's going to be the best AlphaTauri start this season and in a long while. And he has a very good chance to win this race. Zach the Beast, he'll start P3. How will his starts improve? That's going to be one major factor with him. UnsightedPort, P4. Moomoo, P5. Ferrari Nut's going to be P6. Can he try to go match his teammate Jared? Luciano ahead of Monaco the first time. And Monaco's been out-qualified for our teammate this year. B-Dunk in P9 on the mediums, by the way. And X rounds out the top 10 in 10th in the Haas. Whew. Well, this is going to be the race for the ages. It's not going to be much overtaking, but it could be a lot of action, a lot of safety cars. Looks like rain is out and is not in a factor for Monaco here today. Let's go look at our trusty friend, the race director. And right now, like I said, look at this. Jared, Bailey, Alpine, AlphaTauri, 1-2. Bailey on the mediums. UnsightedPort on the mediums. Moomoo starts P6. We actually got it wrong. Ferrari Nut's going to be ahead of him in the Alpine. P9, B-Dunk on the mediums, but look outside the top 10. That's going to be where the story is made. John, medium. DXD Ishigo, medium. Edronha, medium. Reptile, medium. Phantom right now, hards. Tweaking, medium. Ardell, medium. Bald Guy, medium. Valkyrie, medium. KP21, hard. If that stays, it is going to be a very tough challenge for some of these guys to find a gap and get some clean air, because the undercut is faster here, but not if you get stuck in traffic.
I'm waiting to join back in. I'm waiting. I have the circle waiting for players.
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
At the top of the screen. We're all good.
Okay, cool. I had to go take care of something real quick. Sorry about that.
A steward's inquiry has been posted already.
Oh, interesting. For what?
According to the report, Bailey has been reported for an intentional crashing out in qualifying, which is a big no-no, if that is true.
Knowing Bailey as much as I know, I don't buy that.
Well, we'll have to figure out what the stewards do at the end of the race. Well, right now it's going to be 39 laps, 19 corners, 20 drivers, and a lot of stories. Like I said, Alpine, formerly Renault. Before then it was Lotus. They have not had a pole position in a long while. The surplus of about 11 years at least. Bailey and the AlphaTauri. Well, AlphaTauri in real life have had some pretty good success. They've had 2 wins, both at Monza. Their highest finish and highest start has been P1. Bailey starts P2 on the mediums. Could we have an AlphaTauri win? We've had 2 McLaren victories and 2 Red Bull victories. We'll see what the AlphaTauri can do. Behind him, Zach the Beast. He is right now starting P3 and is difficult to overtake. Could this be a 3rd straight podium in 3 races for Mercedes? That sounds incredible for us to have to say that, but has had shown what the Mercedes struggles have been this season. That'll be great if he can get that. UnsightedPort, he's ironically looking for that Mercedes seat. He's starting P4. Actually, Bailey just spun in the middle of the tunnel, by the way.
And we have Broken Reptile has been disqualified. Looking at the back half of the grid, 11 through 14th are on mediums, even though Reptile's mediums would be very cold. Phantom's on softs. And then we have Tweaking on mediums, Ardell's on softs, and then KP21 on hards. Is he...
That'll be an interesting strategy.
It's either he's really hoping to do the overcut or just stay out as long as he can, or I don't know if there's going to be rain later on this race.
We'll have to see. Right now, a lot of stories, like I said. The White Bull, the tribute livery for Honda, that right now has been a curse for other teams if they do a spin-off livery. Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, well, right now, Red Bull and Realistic have seen the same fate. Moomoo starts 6th. Luciano, Monaco, 7th and 8th, and Veraston. And the 10th place start position for a Haas. That is an incredible start for Axe. The first one, I believe the highest since season 1 of Realistic 2 seasons ago. DXT starts 12th. Like we said, Phantom, he's going to start 15th on those softs. Tweaking, Ardell, Bald Guy, Valkyrie, KP21 rounds out in the 20th position on the grid. We now go to the lights, and the drivers are waiting. It is time to rock down the streets of Monaco, and it's lights out, and away we go. Look at the start. An awful start from Zach the Beast.
Horrible
he now
start.
goes 3 wide in the turn 1. It's going to be Jared ahead of Bailey, ahead of contact made, UnsightedPort in the wall. Ferrari Nuts up to P3, move to P4.
KP21's out.
Look at this. KP21's already out of the Grand Prix. Monaco ahead of Luciano. B-Dunk around the outside of here at Casino Square. That's going to be down the inside now. It's going to be the Mercedes of Zach the Beast. He's going to try to hold on from P3 to P9 at the end of lap 1. That is not what he wanted. Around the outside is going to be P-Dunk. He's going to hold on for that position for now. Side by side now into the hairpin. It looks like the Ferrari's going to have to hold on to the position. Oh, stack up. Contact. That's going to be damage. Huge damage. That's going to be a lot of drivers with wing damage. That means Phantom, Ardell, Etronha, Valkyrie, I believe DXT got involved. Zach may have even gotten some damage.
Ardell.
No front wing for B-Dunk.
No front wing for Ardell as well.
Huge. I mean, that was Etronha, not B-Dunk. But they're going side by side now. I believe that is Broken Reptile getting ahead of Etronha for 16th. But the battle for the front has kind of fallen off a bit. But look at this. Jared, a second ahead of Bailey. Ferrari Nut is now in P3. It is a 1-3 for Alpine for the first time in a long while.
They've had a very strong race weekend so far for them as Jared puts in the fastest lap, even though it is lap 1. But like we talked about earlier, can you get both cars onto the podium places? Well, right now they're doing that. They have Moo behind on Ferrari Nut, but if Ferrari Nut just puts it where it needs to be, it's going to be very, very hard for Moo to make up places. He is +2 though from the start.
Yes, look at the starting positions and the position change. Ferrari Nut and Moo have both gone up 2 positions, like you said. UnsightedPort, we don't know. He looks like he got damage going through into Sandoval. He got squeezed, I believe, by the Alpine of Ferrari Nut. Monaco has gone up 2 positions. Luciano has gone absolutely nowhere. He started 7th. He's right now 7th position. B-Dunk, after the little bit of the debacle with Zach the Beast going through the Lowe's hairpin, he sits P8. He looks fine. Axe in P9. Great finish so far, if it would stand for Haas. John runs out the top 10. Phantom, it looks like he is fine. Doesn't have any damage for now. And P11th, Reptile 12th, DXC in 13th. Baldy 14th. Zach the Beast, Ardell, Valkyrie, Etronha, and I Am Tweaking all pitted. And KP21 is already out of the Grand Prix, and it's been about 2 laps as Jared goes to Sandoval.
So far in the safety car, so outside of the first 2 sectors, it's finally got calmed down.
Monaco goes into the pits, I believe, to change his front wing. He may have made contact with the wall somewhere across the 2.074-mile circuit in the streets of Monte Carlo. Right. If you remember, 365 days, this is a normal country. This is normal streets. For about 3 to 4 days, this is what you only get. The high-rises, the penthouses, the hotels, the casinos, all packed out for this one event. Yellow flag, sector 1. That is Etronha and I Am Tweaking.
DXD has pitted, the VSC. Problem is, it's only going to benefit about 2 cars. That would be Ardell right now, and then Valkyrie. DXD is in.
What has happened?
I have no idea.
Actually, we can go up to Jared. Oh!
What do you see that I don't?
Well, it looks like they may have had contact. Etronha maybe into the barrier, and Tweaking had nowhere to go through Tabak.
Well, this is the one place where if a car in front of you loses it, you probably don't have nowhere to go. So right now, Jared is, of course, always mind the deltas. That's always one thing I always say in the DSC is mind the delta. It's rather be a little bit annoying and say an annoying message all the time rather than get a drive-through. So
it looks like the marshals have not declared this as a safety car incident, and they have now put it back out. We're now going back racing. DRS is enabled, the drag correction system. You have to be within a second of the car in front to grab it, but I don't know how much it will do. Right now, Moo hounding the back of Ferrari Nut in the Alpine for 3rd. He wants this podium. Remember, he had a 5 police grid penalty. This was your pole sitter. He had to start 6th. Oh, almost loses it through Portier. And you see Ardell pitting once again, maybe some front wing damage on the Williams there. Oh, look at the tires. Everyone in the top 10 mostly are on the softs, almost staggered. Bailey on the medium, UnsightedPort medium, B-Dunk medium, John medium, everyone else on the softs. Everyone outside the top 10 are on the mediums except for DXD Ishigo down in 16th.
Right now, Bailey's kind of keeping Jared in arm's length. It's 1.4 behind. Be interesting to see how long these softs hold up. As I'm looking through the points, both McLarens are in the points, both Alpines are in the points, both Red Bulls are in the points. And then you look at Mercedes, they're having a race right now they would like to forget at the moment with Zach starting, what, P3? And then, yeah, just straight backwards. And then DXD, I don't know what happened to him, but they've all had to pit twice. Or I'm sorry, once.
He was caught up with the incident down at the Lowe's hairpin where everyone got stacked up. Valkyrie gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. That will be applied to the end of his race. Minico up the inside and past of Bald Guy. Zach the Beast with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. There's a lot of things happening going on through Monaco. MooMoo's trying to look for a way past Ferrari Nut for that podium. And like you said, Bailey keeping Jared in that arm's length. What about when they have to stop? The softs cannot make it forever. They can't. No. They are definitely softer and harder to, I guess, last as long as the medium. That's kind of what the soft C5s do. That's the purpose. So they have to come in earlier. Well, with this gap, what would that put them? Will they put them behind? It's a yellow flag, and Ardell got a 3-second time penalty. That is Ardell actually right there, as you see through MooMoo. But they, well, how will the undercut work? Will the overcut be better? Bailey could actually have a really good shot here.
He could.
If Jared pits earlier and gets stuck behind someone, Ardell actually retires in the pit lane.
Yeah, I see where Ardell. Yeah, I see that. That's going to be the key thing is when does Jared pit? Does he come out and clean track, or is he going to be behind someone? You cannot pass here. It's very, very hard, as we're seeing that between MooMoo and Ferrari Nut. If Bailey can... Oh, wow, Ferrari about lost it there. If Bailey can produce a gap there in clean air, and when he pits and gain the lead, it might be enough for him to hold off the rest of the race.
Well, don't look now. There's actually another, I guess, figurehead in this battle with MooMoo and Ferrari Nut for the podium. UnsightedPort on the medium. So like we said with Bailey, he could take advantage if these guys stop and get into some traffic. UnsightedPort, he's close enough. He's just not enough space and not enough to go for a move. Actually gets a little bit too late on the brakes. Almost collides in the back of the Red Bull of MooMoo. So it'll be Ferrari Nut ahead of MooMoo and UnsightedPort once again. 6-second gap to Luciano. Yellow flag again. That looks like it may actually be, I believe... Not sure what's going on. I believe
that is one of the Williams.
Maybe Ardell's. Yeah, I think it's Ardell's AI trying to find a Marshall post. He now is out of the way, so he's all clear and good. Yellow flag is gone, and it's all green flags here. We're still trying to find out how this will play out. Well, as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, there's not much overtaking at Monaco, thus the nature of Monaco. So how will the strategy play out? We have to wait for that time to come in. Valkyrie in once again to the pits. He was on the hards a second ago. Now he's on the softs trying to go and recalibrate his race so far. Like you said, as John gets past Axe for 8th, Zach the Beast and DXD Ishigo. The Mercedes are not having the good race that they needed and actually were hoping they would have, was Zach the Beast starting in the top 3. But that is, we talk about how their struggles. They've actually always had one car finish in the top 10. They had Deere with the podium at Bahrain. They had both Zach and Deere, lower half of the points, but they still both finished in the points at China. They had Zach and Deere both finish at Portimao and at Spain, but they have never had both cars not finish. Right now, as it stands, they're doing that. B-Dunk gets past Luciano for 6th.
Right now up front, as Axe gets a 3-second penalty, who's still in P9. That's the good result for Haas at the moment in the points. And I wouldn't be too worried about the penalties. I think we're going to see a lot of them in this race.
We could. It's going to be a big determinant of some of these guys' finishing positions. Whoa! Almost losing the car. Luciano through Anthony Nose. That now puts B-Dunk back ahead of the Aston Martin, who actually got past him going into Tabak. So B-Dunk P6, Luciano P7. That now the gap between B-Dunk and UnsightedPort has grown. The gap between MooMoo and Ferrari Nut has shrunk. Look at these two trying to go for a mover on the outside. That's going to be bold if he can get it. He just can't so far.
MooMoo's getting impatient right now. He's got UnsightedPort right behind him. But here's the thing. It is now 6 seconds between Ferrari Nut and Bailey. And Bailey has closed that gap to Jared. But MooMoo is seeing the potential of a podium or even a better result slipping away at the moment.
I thought he was going to go to the inside there. It looked like he was going to. I thought it was going to be a collision, but he thinks better of it. But look at this, though. UnsightedPort, he now thinks he can get past MooMoo. Right now, MooMoo is kind of looking both ways. He needs to be aggressive, but he needs to be defensive. How can that play out? Meanwhile, up front, like you said, Bailey catching Jared within the DRS range. So keep an eye on that gap for the lead as these three still battling out for the last podium position. Ferrari not ahead of MooMoo, ahead of UnsightedPort. Oh, MooMoo! I think he kept it out of the barriers.
I don't know if he did
That
or
was a
not.
huge slap. Luciano pits.
Wow. If he didn't make any contact, that is the save of the year.
That is incredible. If that did not hit the wall at all. Looks like he's fine. I mean, I don't see much pace droppage. It may have a little bit of damage, but that could have been a lot worse.
The car might be fine. The driver's heart rate might be twice as what it would be normally, but... And I wouldn't blame him if it is. What?
That's incredible.
I thought for the minimum he was going to smack the wall and be game over, and now he's got to calm himself down. As I noticed, the Phantom and Lucano did pit for mediums. So is this the point where the softs start to slip away, and this is where the medium runners prevail?
It could. It's going to be a long ask for the mediums to make it that long. But if they can get that little bit of clean air, they have to take it. Because that's going to be huge factors. If you get stuck behind some of these guys, it's going to be hard to overtake. Like, look at Zach. He's now up into 11th. But he undercut a lot of these guys. He now has to go after Minico. MooMoo actually does pit, so he does have damage, I believe. It's going to be...
Stop.
Does he have a front wing change?
I don't think he did. It was a pretty quick stop. I kind of got.
Okay,
I got
give that
to
man
it late.
the save of the year. Give that man the save of the year.
Yes, 100%.
Right there.
I would love to find his onboard whenever I can find that later.
Oh, I bet he clipped it.
Yeah.
If he did, we should definitely see that later. That is incredible. I cannot believe he saved that car.
Well, something's happened to Broken Reptile as B-Dunk has gotten. I think Broken Reptile accidentally left the lobby, so hopefully he can get a reset if he's trying to get one. I saw a little message on the screen. Running P7.
5-second time penalty, corner cutting and gain to place for B-Dunk.
Wow.
What's gone on there? Has that gone for a move? Yellow flag. That is through the first sector. Is anyone retired? No, it's not. Looks like it was just the top three. Ferrari Nut has pitted from P3. He now goes into the pit lane probably to go on to those mediums like everyone else has gone through. We may see that 5-second penalty removed from B-Dunk if it was unfairly given, but if he pits, it's not going to happen because he's going to have to serve that when he comes in to stop. Bailey right now is not letting Jared go, but right now what Jared needs to do is just hold Bailey at bay the longest he possibly can until he can find a gap. The biggest gap I can see is about 18 seconds between him and John. If he were to pit, he could come out behind John in front of Ferrari Nut. He may have to take that gap.
He might have to. That's probably the wise decision. Everyone else that were on softs have pitted, and a lot of those guys, Monico, Broken, and Zach, they were held up by Axe, who just pitted now. So there was a train developing behind him. As watching the leaders up front, Bailey's all over Jared. And
He needs to find a way past.
Jared still stays out.
Yeah, it's going to be... Ferrari Nut took that gamble, and that gap is closing rapidly between Ferrari Nut and Jared. So if Jared doesn't make the stop this or next lap, I think it may be done for.
The only thing I
He
can
maybe
think
come
of,
out behind.
The only thing I could think of is maybe backing Bailey up so that way when Bailey pits, Ferrari Nut will jump Bailey. But the gap was 6 seconds before he pitted, so I don't know if that's going to be possible.
It's going to be hard because then UnsightedPort and John, once again, they could hold up Ferrari Nut and Jared because they don't have to stop for a long while.
No, they
can
don't.
make it to maybe around 27. That could be the lap and target. You go for the mediums. So if they could hold up and pretty much do what Jared's doing to Bailey now, it wouldn't matter how much Jared backs up Bailey. Phantom gets a 3-second time penalty. I believe I saw Axe grab a 3-second time penalty, and Zach the Beast grabbed a 3-second time penalty as well. We'll take a look at the penalties in a few moments' time. But Jared, right now, the only driver on those softs still looking pacey in the Alpine. He just needs to figure out and take that gap. 4.8, he does it.
Yeah, this is going to be very important right now for Bailey. He has to now get on the pace and do some push laps here to build a gap to Unsighted and mainly Ferrari Nut. You know, we'll see where Jared stacks up when he comes out of pit lane. He should.
Oh, that's going to be way clear. Oh, it wasn't even close.
Well, he's going to be ahead of John. So good move there by Alpine to make sure Jared can pit and have clean air. So everyone.
Now it all rates back on, I guess, Jared catching port.
Yep, everyone went to mediums except 2 people. Ichigo and Blog Guy and B-Dunk.
Well, now it's all about riding. Getting the most out of your tires. Make sure you do not hit the wall and get track limit warnings or penalties, because this is going to be the stage of the race where everything kicks off. Right now, the closest battle on the track is going to be Zach the Beast and Monaco going through Portier. The Mercedes trying to get past the Aston Martin, ironically powered by Mercedes. It was the pink Mercedes last year. Looks like it's not going to be anything close to the Mercedes power this year. Down the outside of the MooMooMlk chicane. Contact made around into, has to cover over the curb, Zach the Beast does. And once again, will not benefit him. He's going to stay behind the Aston Martin once again. He's going to be frustrated. Zach the Beast knows he's faster than the Aston Martin Monaco right now at this stage of the race. He needs to find a way past. The MooMooMlk chicane didn't work. Raskas was too far back. Monaco held the car in a perfect place. Almost loses it through Raskas. And it's going to pretty much... Oh, he may have just hit the wall.
I think he did. It wasn't a significant hit, but we'll see if he has damage or not. He's still got the end plate up.
It may be slight. The damage this season has been exponentially increased, and to an extent that is almost uncharacteristic. I mean, you could slightly touch something and pretty much have the same characteristic of as I guess a yellow or even a red front wing from a year ago, which is huge. Right now, it looks like Zach the Beast hasn't been affected. It may have been sidewall contact with the wall. And if that's the case, he's going to be counting his blessings. Valkyrie goes a little bit wide, letting Zach the Beast and Monaco through. Yellow flag.
Oh,
that was him.
Moo now gets
and that's huge.
Waiting for the leader to cross the line to see what the gap is to the leader to see. You know, I didn't ask a lot of questions this week. Should have, as DXD gets a penalty. What is the pit delta here?
Well, according to what Jared did, maybe around 15, 16 seconds.
Well, right now, Jared is 16.5 behind Bailey.
Zach did get some wing damage. They weren't ready. They weren't ready for him.
Wow. Well, his teammate just pitted as well. That's really going to cost Zach.
Wow. Luciano pits as well for a front wing change in the Aston Martin camp, but that has pretty much wrecked what hope Zach had to kind of reconcile his race. Ferrari Nut, he's close to the back of John in front of him, actually almost pushing John through the tunnel. Yellow flag. That's going to be through Massenet.
I believe that's Phantom.
It may be. I think you're right with that. John
right
now, he's struggling so hard, and this is what Alpine didn't want. This is going to hold up Ferrari Nut so much, and yeah, you're right. It is Phantom. He's now gotten passed by Zach the Beast, and he may even have some damage. John, he's going to hold on the best he can, but he's under pressure from the charging Alpine of Ferrari Nut. 3-second time penalty to DXD Ishigo. He's down in 15th. Valkyrie, 3-second time penalty for track limits and track extension, so that'll be applied to his end of his race time as well. Let's go take a look at the penalties as we get that chance, as we see going up into Casino Square.
DXD has crashed.
The Alpine. Oh! Go over with his teammate here. Down the inside, never mind. Well, Ferrari Knight goes down the inside of John down and Marabou, and he'll actually get it done. That's an incredible move from the Alpine up to P4 ahead of John.
You don't normally look for a move there because normally it does not end well.
Well, it ended well for him, but maybe not so well for John, because now he's under pressure from Moo. He's going to look to the left-hand side. He's going to try to go down the inside of the Nouvelle chicane.
What a move.
And the Red Bull will make it stick, and that will be another great move for Moo. Going to look at the penalties now. Moo has that 3-second. PSR B-Dunk has that 8 seconds. 5 of them came from an overtake off the track, apparently. Could that be reviewed and taken off in the stewards portal a little bit after this race? Zach the Beast has a 3. XF1 has a 3. 6 seconds to Bald Guy. 3 seconds to Phantom. 9 seconds to Valkyrie. We've lost DXC Ishigo, BRL Ardell, Ed Toronja, Ed I Am Tweaking, and KP21. And that's actually another car off. That may be B-Dunk.
Oh, that was Valkyrie.
Oh, Valkyrie has crashed.
I was just about to say, even though Valkyrie was running in the position he was, if this becomes an attrition rate race, you know, you could be sitting 13th, but you could still wind up getting a point if others crash out. Well, right now we have 6 cars out, so for guys like Phantom, Bald Guy, keep pushing because you never know what's going to happen. We've just reached a halfway point of this race. We're near it, and we already have 6 guys out.
Well, like you said, that is halfway now pretty much, and Phantom has to be an every 3-second time penalty. B-Dunk pits, so he may have gotten some damage. That gets XF1 back into the points. Zach the Beast 14 seconds off of Broken Reptile in P8. The Mercedes trying to reconcile and grab some points. He is the only one flying the flag for Mercedes right now. That is crucial that he grabs as much points as possible. Right now, it is not looking too pretty for a lot of these, I guess. Is only like pretty much one car in the points except for both McLarens and both Alpines, because look at Aston Martin, Minico, and Luciano. Look at, I guess, AlphaTauri, Bailey. Look at Axe as well. Yeah, that's a great one. He's in P10, and the Haas started in P10, but that Haas has not deserved to be there pace-wise.
No.
Well, he's wrangling up as high as he can, and he's doing a great job with it.
You know, I mean, to where Haas is at this year, if Axe can get a point, it would be very reminiscent of when Jules Bianchi got a point. I know it's not the same type of car, but when you look at the pecking order, if Axe can get a point, that would be very tremendous for Haas.
That would be absolutely incredible. Right now they have 2 points from the points Tweaking got in Bahrain and the opening round of the season. Right now they're in a challenge with Alfa Romeo and Williams. Williams has yet to score a point, and they will continue that trend as both drivers are out so far today. And B-Dunk's out of the race. Tires in the pit lane.
Yes, he does. So that is now 7 cars retired, which promotes Phantom and Bald Guy up. One thing
I knew this would happen. Look at Jared and Port. Almost contact made.
If Jared needs to be smart here. Port has to pit, and right now he will have about a 3-second gap over Bailey whenever Bailey pits. Jared does not need to push as hard as he needs to right now. This is not the time to do it.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Port right now pretty much desperately trying to hold on to the position going up through into Casino Square. It was close. There was a point where UnsightedPort could have honestly been turned, and both drivers' races could have been ended right there. It was that close, but look at this. He's not done yet. Jared's going to look for the move down the inside of the rail chicane. He's looking for it, and Port just doesn't give him enough space. He closes the door. So Jared has to hold off behind the McLaren once again, now going into the back.
Well, I take that back. Maybe Jared needs to push because right now he is starting to lose time to Bailey. And this is a very important part of the race right now. If Jared starts to slip back, this could prevail for Bailey.
Well, according to a lot of the guys that pitted on from the softs, they pitted lap 7, lap 8. Yellow flag again. That's the final sector. That may be an AlphaTauri.
I believe that's Bog.
Moomoo's pitting.
Moo is pitting. This would be his second stop, wouldn't it?
Yes, it is. Look at Port and Jared contact. Is there damage in the Alpine? How hard did he touch that the right rear tire of UnsightedPort? But like I said earlier, the pit window for the mediums is lap 27. Well, if these guys they pitted lap 7, lap 8, lap 9, maybe the softs can't go as long as we thought. If that's the case, and Port has to go into the 30s when it comes to lap time, or I'm sorry, lap count, that will be plenty enough for Bailey to come out in front of Jared.
The question is how long can Bailey push on his tires? If he is going to make this a one stop, his target lap is going to most likely be lap 29, because what Jared did about 10 to 11 laps, and that was when the track didn't have as much rubber as it has now. That's the interesting part, is Jared has lost about 2.5 seconds being behind UnsightedPort. It was 12 seconds.
He's about to make it a third. He's about to go 14 seconds down, and it's looking like, once again, Port just trying to make his car the widest McLaren in history. And these cars are pretty wide as they are, but Port's doing that extra mile.
He is in a McLaren, and he is channeling his inner Ayrton Senna 1992. It's just this time it's an Alpine and not a Williams behind him.
They're both blue. Close enough.
That's
right?
a very good point. It is blue. But looking at the battle, it's much very like that. Jared's trying to find a way by, and Unsighted is putting the car exactly where it needs to be in order for to hold off Jared.
Zach the Beast gets past Broken Reptile for P7, so that will now relinquish him 6 seconds adrift to Moo in the Red Bull. Port once again going defensive into the Nouvelle Chicane, trying to cover off any possible chance of an overtake from DRC Jared. Trying the best he can. 14.2. That's the gap you got to look at between Bailey and Port. Because if you add another about 4/10 like from Port to Jared, that's the gap between Bailey and Port. And now actually factoring in Jared. Let's go look at the gap to leader. That'll be a pretty good indication. 14.6 seconds. So right now Bailey would come out between Jared and Ferrari Nut. So as it stands, if Port, oh look at this, almost thought about it, run the outside at Saint-Devote. He got a better traction, though. Port trying to block, trying the best he can. It's just not wide enough here going up to the Xander Square. He's going to try to go for it, and Port, once again, closes the door.
I know I posted the video in the Racing News server, but don't do the Kimmy. Yeah, well, never mind.
Oh, a squeeze almost in the barriers, almost contact made, and Jared had to force his way past UnsightedPort, and he gets up into P2, but it was not easy.
No, but that's job well done. That was tense.
Yes, it was indeed, and that's something that Jared really did not want, because now 14.8 seconds, the gap between Bailey and Jared. So as it stands, how much tire did Jared take out? That may not be beneficial now, but maybe the later stages, it may be the roles reversed. Bailey may have the fresher tires. So obviously, remember, he's going to be on the softs.
Yes. The one problem
so how much tires?
The one problem Bailey's going to have, like we talked about, it's very hard to pass here.
Jared had to put his elbows out.
He did.
To get past Port, and that was a 12 lap difference in tire. So if Bailey's on those softs, Jared on those mediums, by the time that those two maybe encounter each other, how much tire is left on the Alpine, and how much does the AlphaTauri have left to use?
Well, Unsighted and Bailey Unsighted, and right now Broken Reptile, they've not pitted yet. Broken Reptile, of course, he got kicked out of the lobby for a couple. That kind of hurt his pace, but everyone else is pitted. And I believe all the ones that have pitted up front, MooMoo's done 2, but that's not because of damage related. Everyone else has done 1 stop.
Well, that's going to be oh, Luciano on board with him, losing it at the exit of the swimmable chicane. That is his entire front wing gone. He was closing up to the back of Axe F1 and has lost it at the exit of turn 16 and plowed it right in the barriers. Luckily, he was not out of the Grand Prix and lost his tire. Well, he's going to have a new front wing and get a new set of tires this time. It's going to be the softs. First one on it for the final portion of the Grand Prix.
Right now,
ooh, that was close.
Oh, MooMoo for another 3 seconds. If there's anything that's going to help MooMoo with that, is if my math is right, if I can bring it up, Zach from behind has 6 seconds as well, so MooMoo will not lose any positions, but it will hurt him if a safety car came out.
Speaking of hurt from a safety car, if a safety car does come out, Jared would still be behind Bailey.
Yes.
13.1.
If a safety car came out,
closed.
If a safety car came out right now, Bailey's likely sitting pretty.
That's a big ask, though.
It is.
These drivers are kind of spread out from each other, and it's going to take either a huge collision and a dangerous car put on the circuit to have a safety car, or a gigantic pileup, which I just don't see possible.
Well,
like you said, a lot of these guys have yet to stop. John, Broken
and
Reptile,
Side
could
just
that
hit
put
the
him
wall.
at?
I don't know if he has any damage.
Oh! Jared almost lost it through turn 16 as well. These guys are pushing so hard on that entry and exit curb. I'm sorry, the entry apex curb, I guess, of 15 and the apex curve of 16, that they're almost losing the car. And Jared almost plowed it right in the barriers, just like Luciano did about a lap prior. So could that be a factor? How much is Jared willing to push before he has stepped over that limit?
Well, one thing that Jared had to deal with that he doesn't deal with anymore is what Ferrari Nut's going to deal with. You have UnsightedPort in front of you, and the gap that Ferrari Nut has on Bailey is 17.6. So this is going to be crucial, because if we think Bailey is going to do a one-stop, one would assume he is going to do a one-stop. In 4 laps, if the gap is around 18 seconds, he's going to come out, 6 seconds behind Jared with no traffic.
That is huge. Plus those softs, pressure tires, clean air. But how much is Bailey willing to push? That's going to be a big thing, because he may, pretty much play his hand and may grab that second place. That would be his first podium of the season, but he would want that win. He has the fresher tires, and he would have that pace advantage due to the softs, but how much is he willing to push? Like I've said, Ferrari Nut, UnsightedPort looks like he may not have some damage, like you said. Oh, a little slow through the apex and the exit of turn 16. Now into Rascasse. UnsightedPort trying to pretty much park it on the apex, not let Ferrari Nut have any chance and coming at him. And the Alpine, he had to worry about Jared. He knew exactly what he could do. He knew where he could put the car. And he actually got overtaken by Jared, meaning he knows where a move is possible. Well, he didn't think of this one. Almost contact again between Jared, and Ferrari Nut and UnsightedPort. Port's being really aggressive right now.
I tell you, Port is defending very, very well. It's aggressive. But one thing that this is doing, it's really hurting Ferrari Nut in his battle for second place. They are losing. Now they're 20 seconds behind.
That's going to be a huge gap to gain, especially because, well, Jared, he's going to be about 6 seconds. Yellow flag. That is Phantom again, but here comes Ferrari Nut on UnsightedPort. Contact. Port has to straight line the chicane. 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. Will that be taken off? Was there enough space for Port to make the corner? Did Ferrari not have to lunge that make?
It was very, very tight. I mean, if Unsighted breaks the corner, happens.
John spun round at the Deville chicane as well. And he's been given a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings after having to straight line the chicane after spinning through it. He may have had contact with Moo.
Nico gets the penalty, but right now that's not. Well, actually, that would hurt him, because Reptile is only about 3 seconds up the road from him.
Ferrari Nut gets past UnsightedPort, so Port is now basically just going to hope for that pit window to come sooner than later. John does come in to stop. He may have some front wing damage on that McLaren as well. Yes, he does. He had contact, I'm guessing, with either the front wing of his front wing on the barrier or his front wing on the side pod of the Red Bull of MooMoo. Oh, Minico's in the pits as well. Same with BRL Phantom. That may be his chance done. But that actually may open the door for Axe to grab a huge chunk of points now. Oh, there he goes.
He should theoretically come out P2. The question is, what's the gap going to be? And you won't be held up. Stops, of course, going on.
No front wing change. Here we go. Jared's through, but how close is it going to be with Ferrari Nut? It's not going to be close at all.
No.
So Bailey has about... Actually, it's going to be a lot closer than we thought. Here he comes. But it's just not going to be too far. You see Bailey up the road there. Now Bailey's going to have around 12 laps to go chase after DRC Jared. UnsightedPort pits as well from the 4th position. That puts MooMoo in the Red Bull up to P4. And that's actually probably going to put Zach the Beast up to P5. Yes, it does. That's a good recovery drive so far from the Mercedes.
You know, Zach's on 13 laps of his medium, so he can take those for sure for the rest of the end. That's a good recovery, though, for Zach and Mercedes, right? About 15 laps ago, this race was not looking ideal. Now they're going to at least look like they're going to get something out of this.
Broken Reptile stops as well. John's going to get ahead of him. That may actually put Axe up to P8. That will be the best finish for Haas this season as well, because they got 9th in, actually I believe it was 10th in Bahrain with fastest lap, or it was 9th. It was one of the two, I can't remember. But regardless, they got 2 points in Bahrain, but 8th gets 4 points. That will put them not only ahead of Alfa Romeo, but in a contention with, Alpine before this round, of course, because 1-3. Yellow flag, that is a Mercedes out of the Grand Prix.
That is Zach. Wow. We just jinxed it, but that's very unfortunate.
Looks like he turned in maybe too early, hit the front wing. Actually, all 4 tires are intact on his car. Unless the left or right's on, or not on. I don't understand how he retired there. Regardless, that helps now Luciano go up to the points.
It does.
And Axe F1 is now in 7th. Incredible.
What a race for them.
It's amazing right now for Haas and that entire team. You see their team manager, Ethap. Obviously, he kind of jokes time. He says this is like the, I guess, the safe house for drivers. You think a couple of them trying to grab as much points as possible because he wants them to grab some points, not only for his team, but to get their morale up. It's basically like the rehabilitation clinic for a lot of these drivers right now. One of their drivers is doing absolutely incredible.
If I remember right, wasn't Axe with Renault last year for Brazil? I can't remember if he was teammates.
It was B-Dunk.
That was B-Dunk. Okay, well. I get those two.
But Axe with some incredible pace.
Yes, he does. Let's see, Bailey's gained about a second and a half in 2 laps on softs.
It's going to be close here because, once again, it's 12 laps on those softs. So how much tire will he have? Jared will have about an additional 10-ish laps on his medium. How much tire will he have left? Because he obviously pushed quite a while. Not only to get past Port, but to catch Bailey. So how much tires will these guys have?
Well,
how much are they willing to put on the line?
He's going to have 26, 25 laps on his mediums, and the guys that for mediums when they pitted was about that range. So it's just going to be a combination of which tire compound holds up, and honestly, yeah, Bailey's closing, but how much of the tire is Bailey using?
It's going to be a big thing, especially, we always like to say, it's one thing to catch them, but another than pass them. But that is literally the entire story at Monaco.
It is.
You can catch someone, and you can run them down from 20, 30 seconds back, but you literally cannot pass them unless you have to do is what UnsightedPort and Jared, you saw from that battle, how aggressive both Jared and Port had to be to hold the position and to go and overtake Port for that position. Even though Port didn't even have to do that because his strategy was different. But that's the kind of move you have to, that kind of game you have to play at Monaco. Hold someone up, try to give as much time for yourself to grab a strategy and a good points-paying position for yourself. And other guys behind you, they're doing the same thing, but they may be on a different strategy. You see, that is the Aston Martin of Monaco getting lapped from Bailey, and not the Grand Prix he wanted, but right now sits in the 9th position. So it could be another 2 points to his name.
Well,
that'll be his actually 5th points-paying position race in a row, actually.
Well, it's not going to be a pretty result for them, but Aston Martin's got both cars in the points. Yeah, it's the bottom 2 cars, but still, it's something better than nothing.
Bald guy may have spun at the exit of the Rascasse and has now gone into the pit lane and grabbed a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We've had 8 retirements. We've lost Zach the Beast, PSR B-Dunk, DXD Ishigo, Valkyrie 420, BRL, Ardell, Ed Thoronha, I Am Tweaking, and KP21 in the Grand Prix. And there's still about 8 laps to go, so don't go anywhere because it could change. We have a yellow flag again. That's a McLaren, and that may be, is that John?
Yes, it is.
Does he have front wing damage?
Can't tell.
We'll see based on how much time he loses or gains to his teammate UnsightedPort ahead of him. Bailey's now within 4 seconds. He's gained a considerable amount of time on Jared in the last couple of laps. How much tire is he using?
Well, I would say this. He has not gotten fastest lap, so you would think... Well, Zach has that, so... But that was on mediums, I believe, as well. So that might be an indication that Bailey isn't pushing 100% on these tires, knowing that he needs some of this life when he catches them.
Very smart play. You see, this AlphaTauri driver isn't a slouch. You've worked with him, obviously, the back end of last season in Renault, and now so far this season in AlphaTauri. You know exactly what he does. You know how his brain sometimes plays a role, which sometimes for other drivers it doesn't.
Well,
How much do you think he's thinking through this?
he's probably not thinking at all. One thing about Bailey I've noticed is race pace. The kid does not make many mistakes at all. I mean, look at the leaderboard. No penalties. You go through most of his races, everyone gets penalties. He doesn't get a penalty. He's basically as smooth as one can be. He could have a lot more wins on the cards. It's just luck does not fall in our favor.
Well, ironically, luck once again is not in his favor. He's now catching Jared, who's not, in his own defense, has not been a slouch in pace-wise also. Remember, he got the inherited pole ever since the 5-place grid penalty with MooMooMlk, by the way, who is actually in P4 trying to grab that podium away from Ferrari Nut. Can he do it? 9-lap fresher tire on the Red Bull than the Alpine. But Jared, I mean, he's pretty known in the F1 community as well. I mean, think about it. From him and from New Zealand Ryan and from Master Berserk and all these guys, they came in. They're known for their speed. Jared himself actually said that he is not what he used to be. F1 2021 has not suited his driving style. And right now, this may be the spark that not only he needs, because, I mean, remember the last 2 Grand Prix, I said he's not had the good Grand Prix that he necessarily needed. Crashed at Portugal and Spain and did not have a great finish there as well. So he wanted to have the best chance he got. Monaco is going to be his best chance. And so far, he's showing it. Right now, leading a lot of the Grand Prix and getting that inherited pole. So right now, it's going to close down, but how much can Bailey pass him? How much can Jared hold him off? It's going to be a huge ask for both of these drivers. Who's going to make it to their line first in lap 39?
Well, one more other thing is I took a peek. Jared's on 2 warnings, while Bailey is on 1 warning. So that is another important factor as well.
Yes, it is, and that could be the make or break, because if Jared goes one little, I guess, centimeter too wide, he can grab exactly what that man just got, a 3-second time penalty again for Moo, which is going to hurt, and him trying to take that podium away from Ferrari Nut in P3. He's 5.3 back, but I think those penalties, I believe, is 9 seconds now. We can actually go look real quick. It may be the end of him.
So the question you have to ask for Bailey, does he push and try to get the move done, or does he just stay in his mirrors and try to have Jared make a mistake?
Well, it really depends, because, I mean, obviously Jared's not one guy to make too many mistakes. The last 2 rounds, I mean, yes, he did make mistakes the last 2 rounds, but that was uncharacteristic almost from Jared.
True.
So I think, honestly, it may be really a battle of attrition here. Some drivers may try to go for it. Bailey, how much tire does he have left? Jared, same thing. Because of 22 laps versus 7 laps, I mean, both these tires are towards the end of their stint. So how much grip is left?
Well,
how much are they willing to put on the line?
Well, here's the thing, though. At any other track, you could make a mistake. You could miss the apex by a foot, and you'd be okay. Here, if you miss it by a foot, you might get a penalty, or it might be game over. The margin of error here is very, very small. I remember Mark Webber talking about this race in 2010. You swear those walls become more narrow and narrow as the laps wind down.
Well, let's hope not for some of these drivers, because, well, we've already lost 8 of them. We don't need to lose more. Well, right now, Bailey's hoping for a little bit of a wider track. Jared's hoping for a little bit of a track almost reminiscent of Macau. These guys are hoping for 2 opposite things. Bailey hopes we're at Baku a week from now. Jared, once again, Macau. So it's going to be different for these guys. How much is Jared going to defend? Because Alpine, he's got to score a point. He's DNF'd the last 2 races, and right now Alpine is being pretty much, for lack of a better word, carried by Ferrari Nut and P3. So if Jared can grab this win, that's a huge morale boost for him and for Alpine, a turning point, because they're both on the podium. But for Bailey, who almost gets to the barriers, actually, in the exit of turn, the no chicane before to back, actually, turn 11. How much is he willing to push? Because remember, he got podiums in Renault a season ago. He wants one at Monaco.
Well, you also have to remember, Spain did not go straight forward for him. He had a very rare retirement early in the race, and that's just something we don't see out of Bailey. That's just very uncharacteristic. So they both want to have a good race. They both want to go for the win. Oh, as Jared actually smacks the wall.
Oh! That is huge for DRC Jared, and it may have cost him the race win. If he can hold on, though, there's a couple of laps left. 4 laps to go. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 laps to go here in Monaco. It is all down to this. Yellow flag, I believe I saw. Axe have pitted as well. I believe he has gotten some front wing damage. He's now put on those soft tires. He's going to have 2 points to his name right now. It's going to be close between him and Luciano as the laps come winding down. You see Luciano going through into Sandoval in a couple of moments' time. 8/10 is the gap between Jared and Bailey. Right now, it's these two against the world. 15 seconds. They don't even need to wonder if there's another car in this race because it's basically, according to their eyes, there's not. The penalties, it could be a factor. Jared has 2 warnings, and the last time we checked, Bailey had 1. We could right now see an AlphaTauri win the race like we did at Monza a couple times. We could have an Alpine win the race. I believe the last time that a Renault-powered car was up on the top step of the podium, well, it was a Red Bull, ironically. Daniel Ricciardo. And Jared right now needs to channel some of that grit that Daniel Ricciardo used. We'll see what Jared can do. 2 laps to go here in Monaco.
You mentioned the race a little while ago. This is very reminiscent of 1992. You have Bailey swarming all over the Alpine.
Jared loses the back end a little bit going through into, coming out of Casino Square. Jared a little bit wide through Massenet into Marabou. Now going through the Lowe's hairpin is now through the second Marabou into Portier. This is the laps and the corners are winding down for this overtake to happen. 5/10 is going to happen where? It could happen at the Nouvelle Chicane. Yellow flag, retirement, Axe is out of the race.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Oh, contact with the barrier. Bailey has made contact with the barrier into 10 at the Nouvelle Chicane. Has that gotten him damage? How much does Jared have damage? Because he smacked the wall not too long before. Jared, he is on those 25 lap old mediums. How much time does he have left with the grip before going out? Bailey's gained so much through the final couple of corners. He's not letting it go. He's going to try to go for this move. Well, it's going to happen in 19 corners and in 1 lap. We're on the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix in the streets of Monte Carlo. Bailey has 18 more corners now. Goes through 2, into 3, going up into Massenet. He's going to have a couple of points. You see the blinking light in the back of the Alpine. Jared has no ERS deployment to really fend off. Bailey doesn't have much better. Going down into Marabou. It's going to come down to how much tire does Jared have in the exit of Portier. What is the grip that Bailey have? Can they go for a move down the inside of Nouvelle Chicane? Will there be contact? How will this go for the rest of the lap? Here comes Bailey through through Portier.
Oh.
Almost loses the car. That is going to hurt him going through into
really
the tunnel through 9. He's too far back. A couple more corners to go.
Wow.
Almost losing the car. Well, it's been a race of not only attrition, but surprises. We had a Haas in Q3. We had a front row of an Alpine and an AlphaTauri. We had a race that was so reminiscent of 1992. Well, DRC Jared will be the first one in the swimming pool chicane later because he wins the Monaco Grand Prix. And Jared ahead of Bailey. Bailey gave it his all, but he couldn't hold on and could not grab that position from him. Ferrari Nut, Alpine, I said they were looking so pacey through Q2, through Q3. They are now 1-3. That has been the first team, I think, other than McLaren, that's gotten 2 drivers on the podium. What a race they've had.
Yes, I believe you're right with that one. And waiting for the final results to come in. And yeah, I think Phantom does. I think he does. Well, no, he hasn't completed his lap yet. But Red Bull is probably going to get 2 cars on the points. That's big considering Mercedes gets no points and Ferrari gets no points, I believe. No. And their main rival is McLaren. Okay, P5, P6, but I'd take it if I was them.
Well, one thing we actually got unnoticed, we were talking about Axe and his brilliant drive. Unfortunately, he crashed out, finished as P12. There's one driver we didn't see. Broken Reptile finished P7. That is a second straight Alfa Romeo.
Yes,
great
it is.
finish and a great points finish. And speaking of
Yeah,
him, he
he
grabs
gets-
driver of the day.
Yeah, the Carlos Sainz award. Well, no, actually, Carlos got that for the first time. But Broken Reptile, pretty much, I don't think he had many issues in the race. Maybe if he did, it was early.
Well, a lot of things happened in this race, and this one podium you're not going to forget. 2 Alpines and an Alpha Tauri. When do you see that in realistic racing?
Yeah. It's last time we saw a double Renault or Alpine podium.
Alpine? Never. Renault? It's been a while. Well, it has been, once again, an incredible race, and this is one for the standards of Monaco you usually don't see. Well, Jared will come home to take the victory and to take the winner's trophy in the Principality, and he will win at Monte Carlo and at Monaco ahead of Bailey in the Alpha Tauri, and his teammate will round out the top 3 in the podiums. Wow, once again, 1-3 for Alpine. What a turnaround they've had. Moo in P4 ahead of both McLarens. John and UnsightedPort. I believe that's the first time John has beaten UnsightedPort on the track. Well, that's, once again, a lot of factors coming in. Broken Reptile, we said, driver of the day from 14th to 7th. Who said you can't overtake at Monaco? Monaco, he once again has never been beaten by a teammate. In the race, that streak continues ahead of his teammate Luciano. Phantom grabs the last the last points paying position in P10. Ironically, though, he was lapped. Bald Guy in P11 missed out on the points paying positions, and Axe F1 so close and was having a great race. P12, Zach the Beast retired, as well as B-Dunk, Ishigo, Valkyrie, Ardell, Ed Toronja, I Am Tweaking, and KP21. What a race has been, and a race that we will never forget.
Wow. Waiting for the others to join the podium interviews.
I don't think Jared's gonna join. As you know. Wait, actually, I don't know. I take that back.
I tell you, Catcher, this feels very awkward for me, so this is going to be interesting.
Oh my god, he actually joined.
Let's wait for Ryan, see if we can get him in before we start
Hello, my fellow
going on with the
Jared.
podium interviews.
How was the
say-
race?
Chaotic. Moo had the save of the year.
Really?
The car darn near looked perpendicular on the front stretch. It was basically, it looked like it was game over. And I don't think he got any damage out of it. I mean, we both thought me and Catcher thought Moo was gone. That was one hell of a save. I don't know. Who was that behind? I think that might have been behind you, Ferrari Nut, when Moo had that huge snap.
Yes, it may have been. Well, let's go to the podium sitters, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to exit out and go to the showroom, so I guess we'll have to do it like we did a week ago in Spain. Ironically, I guess we'll say we're in the swimming pool, because that's probably where Jared's probably going to be in a couple. Ferrari Nut, come to you, and everyone else, when we go to you, please include your audio with the box at the top of the party. Well, you've had the last 3 races now finishing in the points, and the last 2 have definitely been, I guess, a little more, less stressful. How walk us through Monaco, because that's definitely been some interesting races from 5th to 3rd. You said you can't overtake. Oh, Mike isn't working. We'll go back to him in a second. All right, we'll go back to him. We'll go to Bailey then. Well, okay, it works now. Okay, Bailey, be quiet. Okay, now we'll go to you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I can. Well, through Q1, Q2, Q3, it looks like Alpine had some pace, and that's one thing that definitely showed through today. From 5th to 3rd, you've had 3 straight points-fang positions, and this one's probably been less stressful. So walk us through your race and how that's been, because I guarantee you're probably going to have a blast with this podium.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I do well at Monaco. I've been on the podium all 3 races that I've been in. Hopefully continue that on Saturday night in Tier 1 too, but yeah, you never know. Got to give a shout out to Jared. It's was way better than anything I'd been able to come up with. I don't really usually have a lot of time to work on the setup for this because I literally come straight home from work and jump in this thing and go on Thursday nights. But start of the race, had to dodge Zach, who literally just bogged down and went nowhere off the line. So that was one position right there. I kind of figured that might happen, so I was prepared for it. Then going to turn one, I had just a sliver of a hair on the inside of port, and he tried to squeeze over, and I just wasn't having any of it. So, you know, it's kind of something that people kind of start doing, and it really doesn't check well with me. So you try to squeeze me over, I'm still going to go up there. It's not so much a matter of if, it's how and when. So after that was really not too eventful until I caught up to John and Port again after the pit stops, which I don't know what those guys were thinking. Bailey made it work, but I don't know what those guys were thinking with that medium soft strategy. It never works around here.
Well, I think it worked because Bailey was be able to start in P2.
Yeah, but let's be honest,
I mean,
he's an alien.
I facts. I can confirm that, but I think what helped with Bailey is the fact that, hey, he's running P2 by himself. He's away from everyone. All he's got to do is keep Jared basically in front of him. So I don't disagree if you're what you said there, but I think being the fact that Bailey was kind of in his own little world, he was able to watch over his tires, whereas you mentioned the McLarens, you and your teammate, y'all really had to get through them, and that was very, very tricky.
Yeah, they didn't make it easy.
No, they did not.
But the tire wear is just, I mean, when the tire difference is a second a lap, it's really, the opportunity presents itself rather easily.
Yeah, especially at a place where it's hard to overtake, and a lot of the results are going to be based off strategy, based off when you pit, and if you're being held up by a car, that could be basically your race going away for you.
It really can be. So that's, it's important to get the strategy right, find a clean gap, which I did find a nice big gap to drop back into. Fortunately, did it before Moo got around me on the stretcher tires, so I was able to stay in front of him, which I'm pretty chuffed with that. Was able to stay ahead of a Red Bull at Monaco, and not exactly a slouch of a driver either. So,
well, once again, congratulations to your podium. That's one, like you said, you've gotten podiums both in the F2 races last night, and now you've made it, I guess, the trifecta, and you're hoping for that one in Tier 1, so let's hope and cheer you on, because I'll be there, so not that you care. But, once again, congratulations on your P3.
Thank you.
Now, before I go to P2, we've had some chatter, and this is some breaking news. UnsightedPort has been re-signed for 5 races, but a driver move. Taylor Clan goes from AlphaTauri to McLaren, and an even bigger driver move. Zach the Beast has been, let go from Mercedes.
Wow.
That is a huge move. That's going to be a seat opening next time out in Baku. And another one, Axe F1. Well, we talked about how great his race was today. He's been signed for the rest of the season, the entire 20, what is it now, 18 races? We've been through 5, so about 19, sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, he's now there. Well, let's go to P2. Like we said, it's been a crazy race.
Very, yeah.
I guess you could say this definitely counts as one of those far-out races, because if you look at the top 4, you would think, what is this? Equal cars? No, it's not. It's realistic. An AlphaTauri and 2 Alpines just beat a Red Bull and 2 McLarens at Monaco. That's incredible. And not only this, but Bailey, this is your first podium, I believe, since Brazil a season ago in Renault. How does that feel? Walk us through your point of view here at Monaco.
I did not get a podium at Brazil, but the last one was Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Nah,
Okay, close enough.
Okay, man. No, I had my hands full the whole race, so I decided to underfuel. And, I expected a safety car, and I never got one. So I was lifting and coasting during that final stint on softs. And then my tires started overheating. So I was basically drifting all over the place.
Yeah, we saw your hands. They were full. And you just said something that I think I just don't know. We did not have a safety car in this race.
Yeah.
We had one
I
PC that we now
But
have
yeah,
safety
one
car.
PC, which really was early, and where it was going on, it didn't really benefit anyone.
It was the exact same as that Mort race we had a couple weeks ago. Just one VSC and then nothing after that, despite all the crashes.
Well, I finally, can load out into the showroom, so we'll have some cars on display. We'll go to you again, because obviously the last Vernon's interview was a little bit long, and I didn't get to ask the second question, which is fair. I mean, it's a long conversation. Let's have some fun. For you, obviously, AlphaTauri, you see all of these drivers moving. Your contract's actually up, I believe, as well. Is there any possible hints of where you're going, or are you going to keep it all on the down low until it's actually pen to paper?
Not gonna lie, I have no idea where I'm gonna go. I might resign, I might not. Depends on who I get as my teammate. But yeah, that decision will come.
Well, the decision will have to come indeed, so keep an eye on that. And you may see a lot of, if you're returning to the stream and you've watched so far the entire 5 races, you may see a little bit of mix-up next time out in Azerbaijan. It's going to be a fun time, and hopefully you'll stick around and watch this. If you're new to the BRL, well, welcome along. This is probably the best race you could have chosen to come in and, well, have some fun at, because it was very chaotic. But now let's go to the race winner. And, wow, that's incredible. Not only pole position, I mean, it was inherited, but it's still going to count towards you because that 5-place grid penalty definitely means you still start first. Jared, how does it feel? Walk us through it.
Yeah, pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's the first race I've done where I've actually finished because the past year I had a bit of trouble with the handling model and the car just felt like it was floating. Like you probably saw Portugal, I think I spun like 3 times in like 5 laps. So yeah, the new handling model update probably helped me quite a bit because the cars feel reasonably good again. So yeah, not a bad race, I guess.
Yeah, not a bad race. I mean, compared to the other two, this one looks like you won the World Championship. The last two, you've had 2 DNFs in unfortunate fashion at Spain and at Portugal. But once again, this win, it's going to turn the tide. I've said it a couple times in the stream already in the prior for, I think, qualifying, and I think a couple times in the race. For yourself and Alpine as a whole, it was a slow start. This may be the spark you needed.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think the drivers at the start, I'm not sure who else was in the cars, but didn't really have the best start to the season. I didn't really help too much in the past few races anyway, but yeah, it's probably a good thing to get some points with double podium.
Well, you're now the second team to grab that double podium, the other one being McLaren and that 1-2 at China. Well, this 1-3 honestly looks, I guess, similar on paper, but definitely harder to fight for than what McLaren had. Because I mean, China is definitely a vastly different track than Monaco is. But once again, double podium finish for Alpine, second of the season, first for you and first for Ferrari Nut. That's great for both of you getting on the podium. So congratulations on that win.
Yeah, cheers.
Well, that'll pretty much do it, unless you have anything you would like to comment on, Bois.
I'm good.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your help. Obviously, usually you don't hear him or see him anywhere in the Breakout Racing League. He's usually on the, I guess, the pit wall for AlphaTauri, and he kind of tried his hand here at Monaco, and he did a pretty good job, I think, if I don't say so for myself. So give him a round of applause in the chat below if you would like to do that, by the way. And maybe if you want to see him again, I don't know how often we'll get this, but yeah, maybe it could be an occurrence sometime here and there, maybe sometime, maybe please. Anyway,
Well,
let's talk about for the race.
It depends. I mean, I'm not in someone's party helping them, and they're in here, so.
Well, it was a very chaotic race. So
very.
if you're new to the Breakout Racing League, like I said, come tune in more. This happens every way. We have the next 2. Actually, we have, I believe, 3 races being streamed tomorrow. We have BRL Tier 3 at Monaco, BRL Tier 4 at Monaco. You may even see F1 PC Tier 1 be streamed on YouTube. Go tune into those races. Saturday, we have Tier 1 and Tier 2 race. We have 8 p.m. EST and 10 p.m. EST. And if you don't like it, Formula 1 racing, that's fair, and that doesn't suit everyone. Go tune in on Sunday. You have ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione. They have their race, I believe. Where is it? Someone in here is an ACC? Jared? No? Okay.
No. What's that?
Oh!
Do you know where ACC? I'll just go look.
Looks like we have some other news here. Looks like John, I don't know if it's official, but John the Mercedes replacing Zach.
Oh.
I don't know if that's Mm.
Cookie has also re-signed to Ferrari.
Some news have been made, and I'm glad the stream has lasted this long. Cookie's re-signed to Ferrari, like you said. KP21 gets re-signed at Williams, and John has indeed confirmed to Mercedes. That is a very big shuffle on the grid. But once again, that'll pretty much do it from on-track action here in the Breakout Racing League. Once again, like I said, we had F2 yesterday. You could tune in on the Twitch and watch it back. You have the Breakout Racing League YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram. Go check them out, all the social media for the Breakout Racing League, because there's a ton of action coming your way. A lot from Monaco, and ACC is at Suzuka. I just found that out. And you may even see some GT4 racing on top of the GT3 you see every week in and out. So go say hi to your friendly neighborhood commentator. That's XF1, who I had a very good day, if you don't say so myself. So for myself, hey Katra, and Bois up in the booth, where rare occurrence, but it's very cool. We had DSC Jarrett, we had Bailey, we had Ferrari Nut, and we had the entire realistic tier. And I believe, let's see here. I've been told to I guess sit tight because we're having a raid.
Ooh, we got a raid.
Taco's gonna contribute.
What?
Yeah. Anyone like to talk about something? We have some time.
No.
Maybe my decision has been made.
Well, are you gonna include us in the decision, or do I need to go talk to someone and find some sources? You know.
I think you should wait a bit. Currently,
Okay.
So
okay,
there you go.
Okay, wait a minute. BRL Ardell has been fired. Crispy has been signed 10 races to AlphaTauri as the second driver.
Okay,
we
what
have
is that
Hoop
goal?
typing.
Come on.
Alpine may have a little bit of a mix-up in the lineup. Feta is typing as well, and we could have another Red Bull or an AlphaTauri signing. We'll have to see. We'll keep that updated now as we'll wait for the rest. I guess Taco to hurry up, bro.
I would say, you look at this race weekend. Alpine, they came away. I know it's P1, P2, but P1, P3 helps. You have a race where I think the only three teams that scored points, double points, was Red Bull, McLaren, and Alpine. I don't think any other teams got both cars in.
Well, the decision has been made, and I would love to say that goal, but I'm not going to say it on stream.
Wait, we're
Bailey
hosting
has
someone.
been signed alongside AlphaTauri, Crispy, so it's going to be 10 races for the two of them. And ironically, it's not
Gotcha,
official,
end the
but
stream.
I guess you could say in the stream now.
Yeah, it got hosted.
Yeah, that's what Taco said.
Yeah, but you can't see the actual stream from us.
Oh, well. Okay, well, I guess we'll end it then.
Another news.
Anyways, I guess, yeah, in other news,
One more.
that'll do it from everyone else. What happened?
One more contract.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Florian has been re-signed to Alpine for 5 races, and I can make that goal, but I don't know if I want to. But, yeah, once again, that'll do it from everyone out here in the Breakout Racing League, everyone in Realistic, and from the podium sitters of Bailey, of Ferrari Nut, of Jared, of Bois, and myself, hey Katra, and we'll see you, and have a good night, evening, day, whatever. I don't know anymore. Goodbye.